I keep for
Wait, hold on. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Screaming Into the Void, episode number 11. I know I made a few mistakes getting this podcast set up. It's been a long day. And by long, I mean I've slept for most of it. So it's just me and Steve today. Unfortunately, we weren't able to secure a guest this time around. Hold on a second. Oh, never mind. Okay. No, I wasn't seeing it show up on YouTube. I'm like, wait, is it going to Twitch again? Because I've done that a few times. Where I forget to change my key over, so I'm streaming on my Twitch and not my YouTube channel.
God dang it.
No, I didn't mess it up. We're fine.
All right, good.
So me and Steve, because we don't have any guests and because me and him have been extremely busy, I started ALS this week. He's doing Steve things. He's being a communist, doing whatever. We've been having
communism. I'm moving out of town and starting a job in a couple weeks, so it's lit.
Right. So we're both a little busy. We haven't really had any time to ponder topics. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't until yesterday at night I'm like, oh crap, the podcast is tomorrow. I completely forgot.
Yeah. So this one, it's gonna be a bit more informal, where we're just gonna essentially our topic is anything that's really pissing us off and anything that's really kind of like we're just kind of mad about. And if you guys have anything you want to talk about that's bugging you, feel free to chime in to get our worthless opinions on it. And yeah.
Steve and I are trying to take the podcast in a different direction. We started out with a lot of the more streamlined or mainstream political topics, all the things in the media, all the popular topics, but we've kind of talked everything to death. And because it's hard for us to secure guests as often as we'd like to, and because he and I tend to think the same on things, it kind of just becomes, like we said so many times, it becomes an echo chamber, and we don't really get a lot of variety of opinions. Mm-hmm. So this time we're just going to talk about things that are upsetting us, things that are bothering us, and we'll just just go from there. So the first thing I want to talk about, I was thinking about this last night, was just the state of the gaming industry mostly, and why it's becoming it's kind of sad for me to look at it as someone who's been gaming for as long as I can remember. I've been a gamer my entire life.
Nerd.
Yeah, coming from you. I've owned every small Nintendo console up until like the Wii U. Well, it's not really. It doesn't really count as handheld, but even still, like I had the original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, Game Boy Advanced SP, and the original bulky DS, then the new DS, then the DSi, then the 3DS. Just I had every single one. I've owned all the PlayStations. I've owned all the Xboxes. The only main console I don't own at this moment is the Switch, which I want to change. I'm just spending my money on more nonsensical things like neon lights and a sword. Like, right, Steve?
You're an idiot, but
I know.
I can't really say anything about it because most of my money goes to food and alcohol.
Well, I mean, to be fair, mine does too, but come on, you know what the sword is from, right?
Isn't it Devil May Cry?
Yeah. It wasn't just because, giant and sharp. It was like, that's my favorite sword.
I mean, I figured, I just wasn't 100% positive because I really didn't see, the in-detail pictures of it because, when I saw it, I was busy.
So if you look at the gameplay, you'll see it in action in the gameplay.
Oh boy, that sounds like fun.
So much fun. But my main thing is that I was on Facebook a few days ago, and I saw that one of the things that people are now seeing as a selling point of games is the fact that, this game doesn't have microtransaction, doesn't have DLC. Oh my god, this is revolutionary, this is going to be great. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I remember the days when you spend $60 and you 90% of the time got a full game. You know what I mean? Just typically speaking, you pretty much spent your money, you got a full product, and if you didn't, it is what it was. Because companies knew years ago that there was no online way to finish their game. I mean, hell, if you look at it, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2005 release, has so much content in it, it shuns the 2016, 2017 release. That's pathetic. The game had 12 more years on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure, the EA games nowadays, like Battlefield, Battlefront, they look fantastic because, they all kind of share a similar format and style. They look good, but as far as gameplay and content, how is it a game 12 years later doesn't even have a quarter of the content a new game does? Upon release, the game has had a lot of updates since then, but here's the kicker, like I just said. back then they didn't have the ability to release updates online. So what you paid for is what you got. What they released is what you got. So they were looking forward to being able to say, oh, we'll just use the PlayStation 2 online service to give you more content, which wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, because, DSL is definitely going to be able to update a game within a reasonable amount of time and not take 2 weeks. And,
Exactly.
the time someone picks up the phone when you're halfway through your download and the thing crashes.
Oh my god, I hated that back in the day.
That's technically dial-up. That's not DSL.
No,
DSL.
I know. But I remember, like, gaming on, like, Roller Coaster Tycoon and all those other kind of games that were, I think, maybe not Roller Coaster Tycoon, but there was some games that I played that needed an internet connection for some reason. I don't really know why. So whenever someone called somebody, I got booted off the game. Which was always frustrating. I mean, I didn't really play a lot of PC games growing up. Roller Coaster Tycoon doesn't really count.
I'm just saying, the only PC game I played growing up was the Space Jam Pinball.
Yeah,
or like that Space Pinball game.
I swear, I remember like my family like having nights where like we were all kind of bored and didn't know what to do. So the adults got drunk and just had competitions to see who could get the highest score.
That's awesome.
I know.
Like, man, the 90s were a simpler time.
They really were. They truly were.
That's another thing that really grinds my gears, but we'll continue with your topic for a little bit.
Oh my! Whenever I think about that, it's a Family Guy reference. It really grinds my gears. Oh, by the way, Steve, pay attention to the gameplay right now. See?
You have to change tabs.
See?
Oh yeah! Wow, that's a big sword.
I told you.
Is it to scale?
Yeah, it's like 4'4".
Holy crap!
Yeah, I told you. So now it makes more sense.
Yes, it does. I just changed tab for a minute. I'm like, I hope I don't miss this.
No, I play like so many missions, you'd see it regardless.
Yeah.
But even still, moving on. And one of the things that, one of the poster childs of this movement that I saw, like, you know how EA is releasing that new Star Wars game? That Jedi game that they're coming out with?
I believe so. I haven't really been keeping up with gaming
like
news.
Rogue Jedi or like something
like
that.
Yes.
So that game's coming out, and then I remember reading the comments, and then literally a selling point of EA was, hey guys, you're gonna love this game. It's gonna be complete, and it's not gonna have microtransactions. And everyone's like, yay, thank you, EA. You guys are gonna do so great. I'm like, why are you praising them for doing the bare fucking minimum? Why?
It's a very true statement, though.
Yeah, I know. That's the sad thing. It's just that, but
the playing field has changed in the gaming industry, which is sad to say, but like the way you look at it, it's literally they aren't actually required to give you a playable game anymore.
No, they're really not.
Because of how fast internet connections have become, and because of how fast things have evolved, so to speak, like, you don't really have to put out a full video game anymore. You can just put out a half-assed piece of crap, and like, as long as it looks pretty and you have a couple game modes that work really well, you can give it 2 years to develop the entire you get 2 years to develop the entire game. Also, one other thing I will say, games are being developed at a much faster pace than back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But that's something else I can get into later. But as I was saying, you can have 2 years to develop the entire game, but you only have to release that first 3 months worth of content, because 3 months after that you can release another bit of content and charge them. It's an ingenious business move. That's
from a business perspective, it's ingenious. The problem that I have with it is just that, though ingenious, it's now lazy. And I think, for example, like I was getting into some, like, EA literally stated that they believe that online games are the only real way for companies to make money anymore. That solo player games are the thing of the past. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I love online games. I have spent more time on Apex Legends in the past few weeks than I would care to admit. I've spent a lot of time on it. I've max ranked the game, which is kind of sad, honestly, as someone who didn't even want to play it initially. Huh?
You're pathetic.
I'm not taking that at all coming from you. Anyway, but at the same time, the game is free. And it's pretty fun, minus all the bugs that do come with it, and there are a plethora of said bugs. Plus, some of my favorite YouTubers make videos on the game, so it is what it is. But at the same time, I really don't believe that. I don't know about you, Steve, but I think there's something to be said about playing a game where I can just download it or put it in and play it. I don't have to worry about being connected to the internet. I don't have to worry about other people coming and messing up with my stuff. Like, GTA 5, for example. I mean, if you didn't play any of the online game, you spend $60 and you definitely got a complete game. With or without the online content. Now, as predatory as Rockstar has become with that game, like how highly marked up everything is, and you know what I mean by that.
Yes, absolutely.
I still think that regardless if you spent no money on that and you played the online and spent nothing on it and grinded everything legitimately, one, you have my praise because that would take freaking forever. But I mean, it was still a good game. Whereas now, I mean, hell, how long has Fortnite been in beta for? Apparently, I don't think it's ever going to come out of beta.
How long has Minecraft been in beta for? And they still charge you for it when it was in beta. They were charging $10 for Minecraft from the get-go, and now they can get $40 from it. And there's nothing there's no DLC for it. There's just updates.
So I thought the game was free at one point.
The game from yes, it was free, but it was like very, very, very it was almost virtually unplayable if you looked at Minecraft now and you looked at the free version of Minecraft you had, there's no comparison. They're not the same game.
Oh no, not at all. I've seen the graphic updates for the game over the past 10 years. I watched someone make like a comparison video of how the game looks now in comparison to how it looked when it first came out. Holy crap, is it different? I mean, now, as someone who never really played the game to begin with, because I've always personally found Minecraft to be just kind of boring. Then again, it's also because I have the attention span of a goldfish, so I can't really sit down and play the game too much. I just get bored with it too fast. I know there's a plethora of things you can do in Minecraft. Yeah. I understand that, but it doesn't do anything for me. It never really has.
So what I'm seeing is that if you don't get a boner from a video game, it's not worth playing.
Yes. I mean, if you don't get a boner from anything, is it worth doing?
I mean, you don't get a boner from going to work unless you're a porn star.
As far as you know.
Okay.
Anyway, so... But no, seriously, it's not necessarily that. It's just that I felt that the game... Maybe this is kind of pathetic for me to say, but I don't like games that lack direction. If you just load up Minecraft, it doesn't tell you what to do or how to do anything. It's just like, here, play it.
See, I agree with that. Me personally, I absolutely love open world video games. Like, I enjoy Minecraft, like in the Infamous series, Prototype, Grand Theft Auto.
Prototype.
Oh yeah, but there's a lot of I like the idea of being able to do whatever the hell I want when I want, and that just like games like Devil May Cry. You're gonna hate me for this, and also I really can't. I won't compare it to Devil May Cry because I've never played the game. To be fair, let's say, I'm trying to think of a game that isn't really open world that I own.
Let's see. Probably the biggest ones. Have you played the Witcher series?
No.
So I haven't either, but the game has critical acclaim. Like, besides a few minor bugs, it's seen as one of the most perfect released games in modern times.
All right. Okay. I have a perfect one. Final Fantasy.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
Final Fantasy is a very linear style game. It's very linear. It's very, this is the way you're going. Don't go backward. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. This is the game. And for a lot of people, this is they enjoy it because there's no question. Like, you don't have to sit around and wonder, am I going in the right direction? Where do I have to go? Where's my next mission? Like, stuff like that. But like, as somebody who grew up with like Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation, that is that's like the epitome of an open world game where you can literally just do whatever you want in an open world environment, swing around and as you please, do missions, do side quests, do like little mini episode opportunity thing like that. Like, because I like to have that freedom. I don't like to have to go through the entire game being told what to do, how to do it the entire way, and then when I'm done with it, there's no replay value.
So
To me, I can still go, like, I've beaten both of the Infamouses. I've beaten the first prototype. I've never bought the second one because I was broke at the time.
oh, dude, Prototype 2 is great.
I know. I watch playthroughs of it. It looks phenomenal.
I'll see how much it does on Steam. Go ahead, keep talking.
But I can go back and hop into Infamous and just go and electrocute crap. I can go into Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation and just swing around a little bit. Like,
it's $40.
when a game, cool. When a game when a game is considered outdated, but you still can enjoy and play, like, hell, even on PlayStation 2, the Sly Cooper series.
Oh,
like
yes.
Those technically aren't even open world. It's a limited, like, map type of deal, and you run around doing missions. But, like, at any time you can just walk around beating the crap out of bad guys if you feel like it, and collecting coins to buy upgrades. Like, it's the idea that that's more entertaining for someone like me, because it strikes my fancy, I guess you could say.
So, I mean, I am a fan of both. The reason I don't like Minecraft is because it starts you in the game with literally no sense of direction.
I agree. That game, I had no idea how to
do anything.
Right. And thankfully I was playing with my friends, so they were able to teach me and stuff. Right. And I was able to learn, like, but the thing with that is that games like Minecraft, the fundamentals of the game aren't being told what to do. It's literally about creativity and exploration.
Yes. Like, and yes, Resident Evil is incredibly linear.
Right. And that's why Minecraft, even with no sense of direction, like, the first achievement you can get in the game is literally opening your inventory, and you get an achievement for that. But you look at, like, basically it gives you the controls in the loading screen. You look at the controls, you get an idea of what your, like, WASD to move around, E is your inventory, spacebar is to jump, shift is to crouch, like, your mouse is to kind of go places, double tap to sprint, stuff like that. You see that, and then you see, oh, E, it's inventory. You hit inventory, it opens up your basic crafting menu, and that's when you're able to wonder, how do I get blocks to put in here? And you click on the ground a little bit, and then you press and hold, and then suddenly you're figuring things out.
So I think for me, for example, besides the fact that everyone knows why I love DMC, is not even so much from the gameplay perspective, it's the lore perspective and the character perspective. But so the reason why DMC strikes a chord with people is because everything about it is not so. Its level design is historically pretty good. What people love about it is its style system and the fact that it's variety. You could spend hours, especially in DMC4. There is, let's see, Dante, Nero, Virgil, Lady, and Trish. There's 5 different characters, all who play incredibly differently. So sure, while the levels themselves are a little repetitive, the amount of things you can do with each character will keep you coming back because the variety is absurdly high, to the point where you can spend hours using different moves, seeing how they affect off one another, doing quick variety changes to see what's more effective, what looks cool, because that's part of DMC's style, and what's more powerful to do. And that's what, for DMC, that's the thing, is that it's the difficulty, because DMC has incredibly high difficulty, spikes at the higher difficulty points. Dante Must Die, especially on DMC 1, is at some point seen just about unfair, and especially in DMC 3. So for Devil May Cry, because I know you mentioned it, that's why I explained it. That is what people love about Devil May Cry. It's not so much the open world, because there isn't really open world. Because people have always said, I want an open world Devil May Cry game. I said, you really don't, because it wouldn't work. I don't see it working, because it goes against what the games are made for and how they're supposed to play.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. My thought being, like,
because you're watching the gameplay right now, you see what I mean by this.
Yep. Oh yeah. I've watched you stream Devil May Cry before. But one thing that a lot of people don't really think about is when if you lock your players into a box of this is how things are supposed to be done, you kind of, like, kill the idea of, like, you kill adding replay value, because, like, the reason why Devil May Cry is successful is because there's a variety in their style, and there's a lot of things to try Whereas with like Final Fantasy, you're locked into like 1 to maybe 3 different characters. They have this move set, they have these outfits, and they have this to do, and these are their missions. These are the monsters they have to fight.
Not even
And
that, but it's
right,
also depending on how you bring up your team, you will quickly lock yourself into this is how my team has to be played because this is how I built the team up. So these are our strengths, so I have to play to my strengths.
right, exactly.
So,
And
I mean, at least for me, Final Fantasy are loved by people for their stories, and their
Yeah.
gameplay aspects too. Final Fantasy VII is seen as one of the best games ever made. And while the game is literally just a triangle love fest, if you played the game now, you know what I mean by that. It's because of its story and because of how it handles it and how it goes against what people saw at the time as story-driven gameplay. I mean, I keep forgetting her name. I can never remember, but the female character that you meet in the beginning of the game, she gets freaking murdered right in front of you out of literally nowhere. And grown men cried because that was something so different for the time, to the point where no one knew how to handle themselves. So it's all about playing to your game's strengths. Dark Souls, for example, as Blue mentioned, I mean, I haven't played the games, right? But there is something to be said, because I have people who played them, and Blue himself has said there's something to be said about how the games play and overcoming the challenges presented within the game. It's a war of attrition. The game is not rigged to play into your favor whatsoever, but it's the reward of overcoming that challenge. See, the reason I don't play the games is because I don't play games with the intent to be not necessarily challenged, but not to be pissed off either. That's why I play Devil May Cry. I mean, the games are eventually tailored to be against you at some point in time. But on the lower difficulties, like especially in the gameplay you're watching, I went on Devil Hunter, which is essentially normal, with the Super Suit character, which is just freaking broken in every aspect. It's unless I just stopped playing the game, I could text in this game and not die if it tells you anything of how the game plays. I don't play games with the intent to be upset, which is why I don't play the Dark Souls games. But I can understand the appeal. I totally get it. That's why, as much as I necessarily diss on the gameplay aspect, maybe just like, again, not wanting to play to get upset, I will never say that the games are boring or that they have no appeal, because they do, just not to me.
right.
I mean, have you ever played the Souls games?
No, I've not. To me, I've just seen so much rage about how hard they are, and oh, it's so scary and hard, and it's awful to play, and I'm like, that to me that doesn't sound appealing. Like, as me knowing myself best, obviously, it doesn't sound all that appealing to me. So I just say I'm not gonna play it.
Right, and that's how it is for me too. Now, granted, you could say that. I mean, when people don't beat games or can't play games, they're going to complain about it. I mean,
Of course.
that's why I think that the people complaining about Dark Souls largely are people who are not meant to play the game, because the Souls games are not for everybody. That's what people complaining about Sekiro, which was made in similar tandem to the Souls games, I think made by the same studio too. They're not made for them. So you need to be careful in the games you play. Like, there's a reason why I don't play Souls, and people are like, oh, my buddy King, he's like, oh, Dark Souls 3 is on sale if you want to pick it up. I'm like, no, I refuse to play, because they're not for me. I mean, sure. It's never appealed to me personally, and I have no interest in playing the game, dying over and over again with the intent of either A, getting good, or just slugging through the game, because I don't give games enough attention. Like, it's kind of sad for me to say, but unless a game is immediately able to keep my attention from the get-go, I'm going to lose interest.
Right. I'm not the exact same way, but I understand where you're coming from.
So unless I have an emotional connection to the game, which is why I've played all the Devil May Cry games, I've beaten all the Devil May Cry games. I mean, I lied about that. I have played all the ones that matter. I have tried my damnness to play through Devil May Cry 2, and as one of the biggest fans of the series, it pains me to say it, but 2 is just painful to play. I just can't do it. I refuse to do it. I know how the game plays. I know how it ends. I watched all the gameplay for it, but I'm like, I can watch this. I can't play it, which is disappointing because it has one of Dante's coolest designs ever. Like, which is the sad part. Like, even some bad games have redefining or defining aspects, but that game just failed to me in every way. So it is what it is. But yeah. But even still,
I'll be right back, real quick. You can keep talking, because you can keep the audience going. But I need to run to the restroom real quick.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just keep talking about DMC for me. So The original game, as everyone knows, is my favorite game. What you're watching is technically Devil May Cry 4 right now, Special Edition. I would recommend to anyone to pick this game up if you're a fan of hack and slash. You get a lot of gameplay value for the money you'll end up spending. So, at least that's just me. Do I see an issue with digital download versus CD? Yes, I do. And the main thing for it is the fact that you can never really get your money back once you spend digital. I mean, sure, you can return it. Like Steam, you have the 2-hour return window. I don't know how other downloaders work. But if you download a game and you don't like it, you're pretty much stuck with it. Whereas, at least for CD, you can at least return it, and GameStop will, give you a little bit of money for your soul, but, you'll get something back. At least that's how it's always been to me. Yeah, you can join in, Blue, if you want to. But we're in a private call, not the Discord server, and so let me see if I can add you to this real quick, because I don't know how to add people to calls, because it always ends weird. Alright. Alright there, Blue? I'll wait till the end, you guys start talking. But even still, yes, I don't like it. That has always upset me, primarily because you kind of get screwed with whatever you buy. And that's why I do more research on games now than I ever have in the past. Because I used to take games at face value, and maybe it's because now I have my own money and I just can't afford to just be wasteful and buy games and be like, oh, well, whatever, it's my parents' money, it doesn't matter. I actually am a bit more cognizant of how much money I'm spending on these games, and if I actually think I'm going to get my value out of it, which as a streamer kind of sucks because I'm trying not to spend a lot of money, but to be a streamer, you need to spend more money to stay ahead of the curve, so that kind of sucks. It looks like it's not going to function, so what I'm going to do is join the Discord and let them know. So join the channel, Blue, and yeah.
Alright, what'd I miss?
Alright, perfect. Blue wanted to discuss something with us, so I'm waiting for him to join in. So that's why I moved us back over here.
Okay.
Waiting. Also, something that Golden asked was just, how do you feel about CD versus digital download? And personally, I just said, I don't like it, just purely digital, because unlike, Steam has the 2-hour return policy, and other launchers are probably a bit different. I don't know how Xbox and PlayStation work. I don't think they have a return policy. But basically, if you don't like a game you buy digital, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, so that's just me. I mean, yeah, I just joked, GameStop will give you a penny for your soul and maybe a little bit for the games you give them, but at least you get something back, where, as for this, not so much.
Right.
I can hear the podcast in the background, Blue.
Yeah, I'm turning it down.
Please.
Thank you, friend.
You need to hear it, you're part of the conversation now.
Yeah, I know.
So, what did you want to say?
Oh, since we were talking about Dark Souls, the reason I enjoyed Dark Souls wasn't because it was hard. It's hard once you play it. If you play it for the first time, it's hard. But, once you, understand how everything works, it's pretty easy.
But how long does it take for you to understand how the game mechanics work?
Because, again, the one thing you have to remember, at least to me, is just that is maybe how it functions for you. Some people... Yeah. Unfortunately, and maybe me included, don't want to spend hours on hours just getting decent at a game to not either A, suck at it, or B, just not die. I would rather walk into a game having a fair chance than knowing the game is rigged against me and having to just, get good. Which, again, I'm not dissing the game. I understand the appeal entirely. But that's my point of view. That's why I love DMC. You go into the game, you still have to get stronger, but you're still strong enough to handle the game. That's why you have to go through multiple playthroughs to unlock all the abilities. But at any point, you're still good enough to beat the game as is. I mean, hell, think about it. I don't know if you've done this, Blue. I've done this. You can go through all of DMC5, at least Dante sections, with no weapons and just Royal Guard.
Oh, yeah.
Which is stupid. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But, I'm stupid and I did it. So, there's that.
Yep.
But, yeah, either way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Dark Souls right off the bat, it teaches you how to play. It teaches you how to block, how to attack, stuff like that. Like the hard aspect is learning the mechanics of the bosses because each boss is different. But like once you die like once or twice, you basically know how to beat the boss.
So I think I don't remember which game I played. I think I have played. I've played three. I know it's not Dark Souls, but I've also played Bloodborne.
Yes, Bloodborne.
So I actually
It's
really
not Dark
enjoyed that
Souls,
one.
but it counts.
So I
It
know
counts.
it's made by the same developers, and it's Souls, but it's not because the game killing is a bit different. There is no blocking; it's parry.
Yeah, everything's faster paced in Bloodborne. I played through that as well, and I remember my first time playing that, it was difficult,
Yes.
especially transitioning from Dark Souls to Bloodborne.
So I actually kind of enjoyed it. I would have to agree with you on the bosses though. So for me, I think I played through the game. I beat the first boss. I don't remember if I died. Maybe I probably did. But I do remember that, like even DMC games, the bosses all have telegraphed attacks. They all have telegraphed ways of how to fight. And
Yeah.
it's mostly just learning attack patterns. And the only difference being is that they hit incredibly hard.
Yeah.
So I forget which boss it is, but it's one of the more iconic ones from Dark Souls 1. It's like that dual boss where you kill one, the other one gets stronger.
Oh yeah. Smau and Ornstein.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
remember
I know
like
exactly
it's
which
not
boss you're
considered
talking
the
about.
end game boss, but it's considered the hardest one. At least from
Yeah.
videos that I've watched, people always say that's kind of the hardest one to play.
It's the hardest one because I think it's the only boss that has two characters fighting you at the same time.
I think so because
It's the only boss that does that.
so
If I
if you
remember
manage
correctly.
to kill one of them, the other one will end up getting stronger, and then almost like from what I
Yeah.
hear, like almost near one shotting you if you get hit.
But it also depends on like the version of the game you play because there's like New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus, and it goes all the way up to like 7, and after 7 it caps at that difficulty where everything just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
There's also like the remastered version and then the original version. Now I think they all play the same, but the remastered just looks better. Some people have said it looks worse.
The remastered, it depends. If you played it on console, the remastered is worth getting because it's a huge quality of life improvement, not just graphics wise. But if you play it on PC, it's some people say it's better to just keep the DS fix version because it would only be like a couple of quality of life improvements, like better multiplayer and whatnot, and better like souls, not souls, spells management.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Just about you mentioned with Dark Souls and Bloodborne and those types of games how they have like new game and the new game plus, the new game plus plus with like 7 levels of difficulty, but you're just playing the same game over. That just seems to kind of kill the enjoyable aspect of it.
It's all about the thrill of the challenge. At least that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's basically about what it is, just the thrill of the challenge, being like, oh, I beat the game in this plus version of it.
So,
have you done that, or can you do that, or are you even capable of doing that?
Right, and I think for me, like, I remember talking to my buddy who's played the games, and he said that Dark Souls is a game you have to put your constant attention to, unlike DMC, where I'm playing a super character and I'm just tanking through the game. In Dark Souls, even the beginning level enemies can kill you if you're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something to keep in mind. When your beginning level enemies are capable of, of fucking up your day if you don't pay enough attention. So I think that's what it is, where I totally understand your point, Steve. It's like, why is that fun? Sure, it's harder, but again, I don't see why that's...
But that's my type of gamer versus your type of gamer, where, again, I enjoy open world games. I enjoy kind of like not being directed to go anywhere. I kind of want to figure things out on my own. Instead of being thrown into a shit show while being shown how to play the game without any real tact, I don't have anything to work the game over with, so to speak.
So, I mean, I know, at least for me, when it comes to the Souls games and when it comes to the games like that, I think the main reason why I would say people like them, besides the challenge aspect of it, is just the constant way of how you approach the game. Like DMC, Dark Souls has a constant idea of how you can attack the boss, attack an enemy, play, defend. There isn't one set way to win the game.
Yeah, there's like multiple classes you can choose from in Dark Souls.
Right.
You can be a mage, you can, with casting spells, you can be a pyromancer throwing fireballs at the enemies. You could be some dude with like beefy health and a shit ton of strength, just throwing around the claymore.
Yeah, you like the guy who where your mobility is ass, but you have like giant like thick armor basically.
Yeah.
So there is multiple ways you can
Right,
attack
right,
the
right.
game too.
Yeah.
There's also the whole lore aspect because Dark Souls, like, if you just play it without really paying attention, you'll just think, oh, it's just, oh, I'm going from area to area killing bosses. But if you actually pay attention and like read stuff and look into it, Dark Souls has a shit ton of lore.
It
And
does.
I'm sorry for cursing, but it
You're fine.
has so much lore in it that the game is like what? It came out in when I graduated high school, I think is when it came out. So in 2017, it came out. And to this
Souls
day, people
are
are
3.
Souls 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Let's
the
go with
original one
3.
came out not that long ago, but fairly recent.
Yeah, the original was with the PS3. It came out for the
Yeah.
PS3. So yeah. But like even to this day with 3, people are still like finding out new lore stuff with the game
The
and
reason being is
content and all
because
that stuff.
all the lore is not in your face. It's never even explained. You have to be the one to
You
find
have
it.
to find it.
You
Yeah.
can play through the entire game and not know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I my first playthrough was just, as a matter of fact, the first character that I made was like that. I had no clue what was going on. I just started chunking. I didn't even know how to level up. Like, okay, it explains how to level up, but I didn't know what the stats meant. And I was too idiotic to see right there that it said press this button for help that explains all the stats. I didn't see that. Only until like yesterday did I actually see that, which is funny. And it basically I threw everything into like health and stamina, not knowing what weapon scaling was, not knowing what dex was or strength. I had to make another character to find all that out. When I found all that out, because my character had been completely useless.
So here's a question for you guys. There is a genre of games I have never paid any attention to. RTSs. Have you guys ever really gotten into RTS games before?
I really don't know what that is.
What does
Real
RTS
time
stand
strategy.
for? Oh,
Like Civ.
Yes.
Yeah,
Civ, Halo
I played
Wars,
very,
things like
very
that.
little of it. I played very.
oh, I played just Halo Wars.
I played Civ 5, but it's like kind of eh.
So those
Oh,
games have a reputation because they're kind of like Call of Duty, where they kind of come out every so often, and they can either have a lot of changes or very little changes. So my recommendation for the Civ games, if you really want to get into them, is read the reviews before you spend the money, because those games have a very dedicated fan base. So you'll find out real
I remember
quickly.
getting Halo 3. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I remember getting Halo 3 for the Xbox and was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Then I saw Halo Wars and I was like, oh, I bet this is going to be the same thing. And later on, I found out that people consider it one of the worst Halo games because it's nothing like the other ones.
Right, but I think that's more or less a misunderstanding of people. So, I mean, Halo Wars, from its release, people were like, this isn't like Halo at all. Yes, I know. We all know it's marketed as an RTS game. That's your own fault for not doing the research.
Yeah.
Halo 3 came out at a time where it was pretty clear what. I mean, let's think about it. Halo 3 came out in 2008. I'm pretty sure Halo Wars came out maybe a year or two after. It wasn't unknown what the internet was. It wasn't unknown what YouTube was. If you really weren't going to look into the game at all and just bought it blindly and then were upset, we're like, this isn't like Halo at all, then, well, that's kind of your own
It's
fault.
your own fault.
Yeah.
That is but Halo Wars did have aspects similar to Halo that was capitalized on in their markets and media.
Oh, of course it was, but I mean, at the same
Yeah.
time, when you think about it though,
Like,
if
the whole
you were
story
if you were
was
known, Halo at the time, Halo 3 was arguably the biggest franchise in the world. Call of Duty was riding Halo's nuts, and not in a good way. It was yeah.
It
Halo
was
was
banking on on Halo making a mistake.
basically the only reason
And-
Call of Duty is bigger than Halo right now is because 343 sucks. Fight me, I don't care. But
Which one?
343, people who've made Halo 4, 5, and
Oh.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I remember playing Reach and was like, what?
No, Reach was made by Bungie. That was the last Bungie Halo
Oh.
game.
Reach was good.
I loved Reach. I thought that game has a very mixed reception. I enjoyed it as expansion of lore. I loved the gameplay aspect of it. I loved the customization aspect of it, and online was solid. I didn't like the armor abilities, though. That was something that I did not like too much, but I liked how they tried something different.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
I enjoyed Wars. Not gonna lie, I like didn't enjoy it to the max, but I like had fun playing it.
I have honestly never really put too much time into any RTS game. I know there's like I don't know what.
That's like my only RTS.
Well, what is League categorized as?
League of Legends
League is a MOBA.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a MOBA.
Yeah. Oh my god,
I played a lot of League, and then
same. I played a lot of League.
I dropped it like yesterday's news. It just went off the map for me, and I just don't care.
For me, I had to quit it like I was quitting an addiction, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was so addicted to League. It was like, if I didn't play League, like, this was recent too, like, because I played League in high school. I was like, because I didn't have anyone to play with. I was like, my one dude was like hardly playing, and he wanted to just play ranked.
Yeah.
And you can't like play with the same person who's not in the same rank, I believe.
Yeah, I got into League late 2013 or early 2013, and I ended up like getting really into it in 2014, and then afterwards, like 2015, I played it less and less, and by 2016, I was going to school and I just completely dropped it.
Yeah, when I was playing, and then I like stopped playing. I played League for like up until I got to like level 28, and then I was like, this isn't fun without people. But then I made another account like in 2018 when I graduated. I made another account, and that's when I kicked off in League. I started playing it. I got ranked and whatnot.
That'll do it. I never became ranked. I never really.
I played ranked.
I enjoyed it, but I've never been very competitive. Hence why I like open world games. But I've never saw the reason for like the international competition where like it's us versus Korea and that kind of LCS. Like,
it's not like we ever won.
Yeah, we've never won. I don't even play the game, but I know that.
It's not like North America ever made it.
Yeah, like I've watched the games, and like it's cool to like watch the games and see all the crazy strategies they employ and the champions they use, but like at the same time, it's really, to me, it's just whatever. It really.
But the thing about
it's just a game.
Yeah, but the thing about League is that if you play the competitive rank, it's tailored. It's tailored via esports, not individual play.
Well,
which is what sucks, because if you don't have a party, you're basically screwed.
Well, which is what. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's the reason why Overwatch fails from an individual perspective, because all the games changes, all the games updates are marketed towards the pro player. They're not marketed towards the average individual. So every change that ever gets put out on the game is marketed to those people. So you have the average player base who 9 times out of 10, these times that I've been paying attention to Overwatch, people don't like any of the updates the developers put out, but the pros do.
That's because it helps them make money. It helps them make money.
Right. Exactly my point, which is why the audience for Overwatch is literally only their pro league.
Yeah.
Overwatch is still a very big thing, but the problem is the only people who are interested in it are competitive players. The common man has been whittled it out. The common player doesn't play casual anymore, averagely speaking.
I can confirm that. I mean, at my school, there's literally an esports team, and their main game they play is Overwatch. Like, everything else doesn't matter. Like, League doesn't matter. Call of Duty doesn't. It's all Overwatch.
Here's something I wanted to ask you guys.
Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say, Matt.
Can a toxic?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Before I ask.
I remember you were talking about Overwatch. I think it was yesterday's stream or one of the streams you were talking about Overwatch. And now I remember. You were talking about the GOATS strategy. How that's what everyone runs, because a rookie team was able to beat veteran pros with it.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you can't get into a match where someone's not running GOATS.
Pretty much, because GOATS was the meta at the time, and to me personally, hold on, Steve, do you know what that means? What GOATS means?
No. I didn't know what GOATS meant.
It means three tanks, 3 support players, maybe 1 DPS, but on average, 3 tanks, 3 support.
3 tanks, 3 healers, basically.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, but yes.
Capcom is still in business.
Who do you think published
Capcom
Devil May
is still in
Cry
business.
5? Who do you think published Resident Evil 2 Remastered? Capcom.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
They're still making their own games, though. Whatchamacallit? The Street Fighters?
yes, they
Is
are.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, Street Fighter.
Street Fighter's still in business.
Is Tekken?
Tekken is still a thing. Yes.
Tekken's
No,
still
but
a
is
thing.
it Capcom?
Yes. Wait, is
Oh
it?
yeah, Tekken. Then there's Street Fighter versus what? MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe? Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Tekken versus them, and then there's Capcom versus
Capcom versus MCU, I think, is what it was
That
called.
was Capcom versus like Sega.
no, Capcom versus Marvel.
Yeah, that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And then there's
Well, MCU was Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, oh yeah.
yes, yeah, that's not yeah, don't get those confused.
Mhm.
There's also Capcom versus SNK, which I don't know what SNK is. Sega Dream this looks old.
I think it might be the Sega version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
But-
I mean, Street Fighter's still a thing. Street Fighter's still making money.
Yep, Street Fighter is still a thing. Tekken is still a thing.
Capcom isn't whatchamacallit, Mortal Kombat, right? That's a different
No,
company,
that's
or-
NetherRealm Studios.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, guys, and people are gonna be mad at me for saying this. There was a while where Capcom was failing. Capcom was actually about to go out of business. So, but Capcom
Oh yeah,
right
wasn't
now,
that when they made DMC's Devil May Cry?
that was 2013, and Ninja Theory was helmed as making that game. Now I could do an entire podcast as to why that game fails and
Yeah,
why.
But Ninja Theory themselves, I think they said that they wanted to make it like this, but Capcom was pushing them to make it different.
They were so Capcom was like, we want to tailor this game to Western audiences, and that's the problem. So everything.
Westerners liked the Japanese version.
Yes, well, the problem is everything that made Dante cool was done in a very disrespectful fashion. So again, I can do an entire podcast on this, but I'll do this in a very simple fashion. The reason the game fails is because everything that made Dante cool, because Dante was principled under creation as to one thing. This is the kind of guy I want to have a beer with. That's literally the idea of Dante. This is a character that if he actually existed, you'd want to crack a beer with. That was how he was designed.
You'd want him to be your friend. You'd want him to be your friend on a daily basis.
Right, and he's also was made as the kind of character who would be your friend if you were a good person to be around. Where everything that DMC Dante, or Dante according to the DMC fan base, to differentiate him from the actual real Dante, everything about him is disrespectful. His attitude, his monotone nature, even his insults, they're so poor. Blue's played the
They're
game.
so basic.
Well, this is the problem.
Coming from me.
So Blue didn't play. This is interesting.
I
Blue
didn't.
play any of the Devil May Cry games until DMC Devil May Cry. Did you play it or watch me play it?
No, I saw you stream it on YouTube, which was the one and only stream I saw you play it on YouTube, where I asked for your Twitch link, where then I switched over, followed you on Twitch, where I saw you play DVD, which is where we became friends. But I saw you play like a small portion of it. You were on like some level with freight crates, where you were just pulling them like in that one dream state.
Oh yeah. But
That's like the only time I saw you play DMC. Everything else I just saw like short videos and read reviews and whatnot.
right, and
But
then this is the funny thing.
Official DMC that I played was 5.
Right. No, you played 1 too. Remember I bought 1 for you?
Oh yeah.
So Blue went in reverse. Blue played watched the reboot, knew about the reboot, and then played 1 and played 5. And as someone who came into the series late like he did, he can even tell you why DMC's Dante is pathetic and why it's a very disrespectful version of a great character.
Yeah.
It's done in a very disrespectful fashion. And believe it or not, the character who got shafted more than Dante is Virgil. Now that
Oh
remake
my
upsets me
God.
more than Dante's, because Dante's character is at least trying to be like his classic
Have some
iteration.
character development.
Yeah, but Virgil's is just, oh my god.
Virgil
it
just
was
seems like a
terrible.
complete tool.
He was originally as, what made Virgil great to watch is the fact that he was a villain only because he held different ideas than you. He didn't want to rule the world. He didn't want to slay innocent people. He didn't want to, do anything bad. The only thing he wanted was to feel powerful so nothing bad ever happened to him again. He pursued power for
This is regular DMC or DMC?
This is the original DMC I'm talking about.
Okay, regular DMC. Okay.
The original Virgil pursued power purely to protect himself and his family because he watched his mother die and he could do nothing about it, which you can't help but sympathize, especially me who actually watched his mother die. So I can understand that he wanted to pursue power purely to never feel vulnerable, which only comes in comparison to Dante because Dante shunned his demonic heritage and chose his humanity, where Virgil was the exact opposite. So that's why they
differentiate. Which is why their swords do completely different things.
Exactly.
When they stab each other.
Pretty much, yeah. So that wasn't developed until later, but essentially you could say that, yes. So, but that's why they were at odds. Not because they hated each other, really. They were at odds, but they respected each other. What made him so great was how he conducted himself. He wasn't dishonorable. He wasn't above doing the things that the remake did. He talked great, had a very threatening playstyle. He was your equal. Hell, he put my ass down a few times. Like, he's hard to play against. But everything that made him great in the reboot was just thrown away. He became a tool. He became a douchebag hacker for some reason. Everything about it just upset me to the point where...
He had a snobby person, Kane, for crying out loud.
Right, and everything that... People are actually saying, we want DMC, the reboot, too. I'm like, no, we don't. No, the fuck we don't. I don't know who we is, but I sure as hell don't.
DMC 2? Oh, God, no.
I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this we is, but it's definitely not me.
Remember the first trailer with skunk hair Dante?
See, the thing is this. I would have rather emo depressed Dante. I would have rathered that. Because believe it or not, at least to me,
Dante.
That version of Dante is more faithful to the original. Dante, like Thor in Endgame, has been dealing with depression since he was a kid. He just hides it in a very different kind of way. Hence,
he hides it behind the humor.
Right, which is a very reasonable aspect, where everything that the other character did wasn't based on depression. It was just based on being a straight-up high school douchebag. That's why it didn't strike a chord with anyone. That's why the Western audiences hated it, even though it was pandered to them.
Remember where for like an entire 2 days I kept thinking that DMC's DMC was canon?
So
playing DMC 5, I was like, oh no.
So Hideki Itsuno, the guy who created 2, came into 2 late, 3, 4, and 5, who's championed as being Devil May Cry's not original creator, but its hero essentially, has said he has a soft spot for the reboot, even though initially it rubbed him the wrong way. The same can be said for Ruben Langdon, the guy who voices Dante. Well, no, he just hates the reboot, but even still. Point being, though, is just that he had a soft spot for it, and he loves Devil May Cry enough to where he's able to appreciate all aspects of it. Even the ones that most people hate. Hence why, I don't know if you knew this, Blue, but they even mentioned DMC, Devil May Cry, in 5.
5, they did.
So remember when Dante is fighting Virgil and he's like, think you can beat me? Not in a million years. And in Devil May Cry, DMC Devil May Cry, when Virgil or Dante puts on the white hair in the very intro, he's like, not in a million years.
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, that was so disrespectful.
Right, that's my point. It was a nod to even that. The game has nods to all of its lore, which is why I loved it as much as I did. Yeah. But we're kind of alienating Steve, so we'll move out of Devil May Cry for now.
Yeah. Let's go back to Dark Souls.
I'm just playing games on my phone.
I'm sorry,
let's go
Steve.
back to the question you were going to ask.
Bobbing uncontrollably over here.
Oh, before you want to go into your toxic discussion, Matt, Golden has a question. He's what do you think about Capcom and EA and other video game designers?
So, I think EA... I want to say I hate EA. I want to say I do. But I can't say that because they've made good games in the past. I just think they got their head so far up their own ass that they don't know how to make good games anymore. The sad thing for me is that I don't think actual gamers, people who like gaming, are making games anymore.
Yeah.
That's why...
It's mostly big corporations trying to make money.
Right.
Do you know what it really is? It's not the idea, like with EA, it's not the idea that they're not, like... They think they've gotten to the point where they've made so many good games that they think they can't make a bad game.
And then they made Battlefront 2 remake.
Oh, God.
And then the community showed them that, oh, no, you may think you're a god at making games, but you fucked up. You messed up.
Now, there have been so many videos on why that game failed. Now, to its credit, DICE has put a lot of effort to make that game worthy by today's standards. But as Steve and I mentioned, back then, like back in the old days when Battlefront 2 2005 came out, you didn't have online updates and patches to make full games. So even though they have put forth the effort to make the game what it should have been on launch, that still doesn't excuse it. It should have been what it is now at launch.
I think someone compared the animated cutscenes from the 2005 version to the graphics of the newer version, and said that they were a whole lot better.
I can believe it. The thing about it is just that the new version, or the original version, had so much more respect for Star Wars. Where, I mean, one of the biggest things that you could even say is bad about 2002 or 2000, not 2000, like 16, 17. Well, no, the new one is the fact that if you noticed, you only fight against infantry the entire game. Whereas in the other games, you have environmental factors. You have the Sarlacc pit. You have the Ewoks. You have all these different things in these factions on these planets that, depending on which side you're fighting on, can help or hurt you. For example, if you're fighting on, what's that planet? Was it not? It's not Kashyyyk. It's Endor. If you're fighting on Endor and you're the Empire, the Ewoks will attack you. If you're the rebels, they'll assist you. It's little details like that in the other game that just were not present in the reboot, which is the sad thing about it. So that's.
Did you ever play the Wii version?
No.
Of Star Wars?
Oh, like that one that came out years ago that was supposed to be like lightsaber fighting. I heard it was really bad.
Yeah. Well, I played it. I enjoyed the story and whatnot. But I think that one was even better than what EA did now with the new Battlefront.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. I personally gotta say that EA is failing on the front because they truly believe that online gaming is the way to go. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, there's something to be said about popping a game in and enjoying a story. I don't think online games have the ability to really suck you in the way a solo game does. I don't think.
Yeah.
That
I mean, just look at how much Spider-Man made. The new one, Lara Croft.
Oh yeah,
God of War, even.
God of War. I mean,
look how many people waited for God of War 4.
I know that game has a lot of controversy surrounding it. As someone who didn't play the originals but looked up the lore, I can see why people didn't like it. It was a change of combat style. It used to be a DMC type of game.
Hack and slash.
Yeah, it used to be a hack and slash. Now it's kind of like Dark Souls, but a bit more forgiving, except on the higher difficulties.
Oh my god, I've seen that game on the higher difficulties. I wouldn't touch the higher difficulties of God of War.
I would never play on God of War difficulty. I refuse. I'm not doing it.
No, I don't think I finished the first 2 bosses.
But Matt, I thought you were a masochist.
On the outside of gaming. I don't want to be a masochist inside of gaming. Gaming's my escape. I don't go there to get upset.
But the thing is, EA's like, they're trying to push loot boxes as if loot boxes are the future. But the thing about their loot boxes is that they were so pay to win.
Oh yeah,
of the characters, right?
The star card system was ungodly broken because there was scaling power.
Like, I mean, I get it if you threw loot boxes into like a FIFA game, because we've gotten so accustomed to FIFA having loot boxes. But to throw loot boxes into a multiplayer game where people who have the money could buy hundreds upon hundreds of loot boxes and just win that way.
Well, this is the other problem too, is that a lot of the loot boxes within the game were designed wrong, because there is loot boxes for the different types of games. So you had soldier star cards, then you had fighter star cards, then you had hero star cards. So if you invested all your star cards into 1 or 2 of them, but then you had to find yourself in one of the other roles, guess what? You were screwed because you had no star card ability and no scaling power. Therefore, someone who was maybe debatably less skilled than you would still beat you because they had the power boosts. So what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, that game was just designed horribly.
So again, to their credit, they have fixed it, and the star cards are now relatively balanced the game out. But again, it should never have been released that way. Now, one of the questions I wanted to pose on you guys is, can a toxic fan base ruin a game for you?
Yes.
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's what ruined League for me. That's why I I quit League cold turkey. Like, even now, like, I'll get like that hint of like, oh, I want to go. Like if I listen to like a League World Championship song on Spotify, one of the songs they made, I'm like, oh man, League. Oh, I had such good memories. But the instant that song goes away, I'm like, oh my god, League. I have such the bad memories outweigh the good memories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the exact same thing for Overwatch. Overwatch also became super toxic, and I was like, unless you're playing with friends so that way you forget the toxicity, it's not worth it.
So, I mean, the funny thing for me is that when it comes to Overwatch, because I've actually played Overwatch competitive, I've never played League competitive, so I can't speak on it, is the fact that a lot of people have said that grinding all the way to the professional level, to some end, isn't really even worth it.
It's not.
It's not
because
if you grind
there's so many other people that play on the same level that you do.
Well, to an extent, yes. So, for example, the Grandmaster rank is the top 500 players in the world that are not pro players.
They're not pro players. Even if you get to that rank, that doesn't secure you a spot on a pro team. Nope. A pro team actually has to notice you.
If they have to notice you, then they have to give you a contract.
I mean,
it's not just
Rowlet,
it's not just
Rowlet's on a pro team, right?
He's on a semi-pro team trying to go pro.
Just ask him how difficult it is getting to pro league.
I mean, it's funny because he's playing Overwatch right now.
Yeah, but like that's the difference between us and him. He's trying to grind. He's trying to get to pro league. He's already part of a team that's not fully pro. It's semi-pro, like you said.
So the only game I could ever see myself going pro in is Call of Duty, because I like to think I'm actually pretty good at Call of Duty console-wise. But I could never. Yeah. This is the thing, though. I can't dedicate myself to one game.
No,
I can't.
I can't do it. That's the difference between us and the pros. They'll pour hours upon hours on that one game.
Like I remember we were seeing a video on Facebook today of a kid who wanted to go pro on Fortnite. He's like, I play 8 hours a day, every day at a minimum. I'm like, oh god, why?
Oh god, oh child, 8 hours isn't the minimum to go pro.
Well, to be fair, the kid actually is going pro, but this is the thing: not everyone can. He's the success story. Success story. How many kids do the same thing and literally go nowhere?
A lot.
Most of them.
Yeah, like for a league, you have to play between 8 to 16 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, dude, I can't imagine 8 hours.
That's literally a full-time job.
Yeah. It is.
That is your job.
And I can't imagine that because maybe it's because I'm in the military, but for me, I can't imagine investing all of my time into that.
I agree. Like as someone in college, I'm the same way. Like it's not plausible. Like
no.
For me, like let's see. Wake up at 7, in class by 9, class until 4. From 9 until 4. It's about 8 hours. Dinner, another like probably a 2 to 3 hours of homework, so that's another 4 hours on top of the 8, so that's 12, and then 8 hours on top of that, and then you'd basically
recommended sleep.
Recommended sleep. That's not even an option. Like, so you'd have to cut out something to get like that other
thing.
Like it's not possible.
Steve, you follow Overwatch more than Matt, so you know who Faker is, right?
Yes, I do.
He said
I don't follow Overwatch much, but I do know who some of the bigger guys are.
I know a few. My personal favorite to know is Jonak.
I follow esports in general more than just one game. I follow League more than anything technically, but that's
I think Faker said in an interview that he plays up to 16 plus hours a day every week.
How is that even healthy, dude? Like, I mean, for someone who took
he's Korean, for one.
Well, okay.
That being that race really doesn't have anything to do with like playing video games a lot.
Well, the thing about the Asian community is that they're more geared towards playing on computers and whatnot, playing on PC.
Yeah.
I think like 99% of the Asian community is on PC.
Yep.
I mean that makes sense.
You know, they have all the gamer cafes where you pay like, I don't know, I think Faker said in an interview that he paid like what would be our equivalent of $10 for like 8 hours of gameplay and in one of those cafes. and you could literally order food from the computer that you're playing from.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to hear something funny?
Sure.
The Walmart that's closest to me has an esports arena in it.
Oh my god,
What?
no.
Yes.
Not Walmart.
Walmart has
Yes.
an esports.
So
Oh.
imagine this. Imagine it's the current year, but you're say 12, 13 years old. Your parents like we're gonna go get our entire grocery shopping. So for my family, that was at least 2 to 3 hours. So I'm like, okay, if I spit, how about you guys give me $10? I'll go buy myself 3 hours of gaming. You guys go shopping without me. And you could sit there with a full setup, no bullshit, a full setup, gaming chair,
Jesus.
neon lights, the full refresh monitor, everything, and just chill there and game. I have the flyer right next to me. Hold on.
Oh my god, that.
Okay, so the weekly league nights: Monday, late night league; Tuesday, Rocket League; Tuesdays, Wednesday, Street Fighter; Thursday, Smash Bros; Friday, Fortnite Frenzy. Side tournaments start at 5:30 p.m. Some people can go from this and go pro, like go compete at mainstream tournaments.
Matt, next stream, do it from Walmart.
Do it
Live
from Walmart.
Walmart. What's up, guys? Martin Productions here, live from Walmart.
Sponsored by Walmart.
Sponsored by Walmart.
But I mean, I wouldn't say no to that.
I mean, if they were sponsoring me, I wouldn't need to go pro. Give me that Walmart money.
I'd like a Walmart gift card for payment.
How much? $50. Okay.
The only problem is that you can't buy liquor at Walmart.
What? No. Then I don't want it. If I can't use it on liquor, then what's the point?
Groceries?
No. Who needs groceries anymore?
Yeah.
Humans, Matt.
Humans.
I don't know
Homo
what these
sapien.
Homo sapiens are, but I'm just trying to get hammered.
Oh my god, did I tell you about this toxic people I went up against on Dead by Daylight?
Oh no.
Oh, okay, I was playing Leatherface, so obviously some people are going to be toxic, but like, the thing is, I was doing a daily, and all I had to do was down a person with a chainsaw, so I did. I got him, I hooked him in the basement, as a proper Leatherface should, and I go AFK. And I go AFK for like a solid 3 minutes.
They thought you were Insidious camping, which a lot of
No,
other
I didn't have
do.
Insidious. I was literally on top, up in the shack, standing in a corner, just not moving. Some dude goes, stands there for like the actual 2 minutes. Instead of going to save his teammate, he starts working on the gen.
What?
So I'm like, yeah, and then I'm literally on my phone just like messing around, and I see him, I'm like, oh, I'll try and down him. If I do, that's another hook. And I get him, and I also hook him, and these two kill themselves. And then the last two survivors, I get another one hooked in the basement, and I actually start to move around. I'm like, I'll move around, get some points moving around and whatnot. And those two actually managed to like get gens done. And the other dude was a David. So he goes, saves his team. I down the other dude who was previously hooked, took him again. He kills himself. Then I down David and I let him go on hatch. These people were literally so salty about that game that they literally came to my stream just to talk shit.
I mean, to be fair, how many times did we do that?
Yeah, but the difference is that the times that we do it, the person is actively trying to do that, camping in the basement, face camping, and whatnot. They actively do that out of their own free will. I was AFK. I literally told them that I was AFK. You could have gone them, saved them, in those 2-3 minutes. You could have gone, saved them, done all the gens, and gotten out, and I would have let you. I literally carried the last dude to the hatch. Because that's how much I didn't care. I didn't care about the 4K. So yeah, and like I literally told them, they were like, oh my god, you're an irrelevant streamer, and I'm like, okay, well, what does that make you, an irrelevant viewer? Well, why does your opinion matter to me?
Oh, I love that. Like I love how I will get told like a lot. Like whenever I was playing DBD, this happened quite a few times. I know you remember this. People come into my streams and say I'm irrelevant or no one watches me, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
and
okay,
I'm like,
And then I
Okay,
click on their profile and they have like no viewers. They don't stream. Like, oh, but I had like a 100K YouTube channel. I'm like, okay, prove it. And they never did.
sure you do, man. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you're calling me irrelevant. You obviously read my bio. How about you go and read that? And I literally point out the fact that it says streamer for fun, not profession. I point that out because I'm not trying to do this professionally. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it, and I point that out, and they leave. They instantly leave. One of my friends, who's a mod, actually came in, and he's like, "What is going on here?" And I explained the whole thing to them, and he's like, "Why? It's just a game."
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, I mean, I like to think that what on DBD should do is have competitive mode, where, people
You could
can
go and sweat your little heart's content off.
Yeah, basically. But they should really leave the casual game to, people who don't want to play like that.
Leave the casual game to the casual player.
Pretty much, yeah. But I think what they'll do then is the game will fall into the same trap that Overwatch falls into, where they make changes for the competitive side, but not for the casual side. But then again, Dead by Daylight has proven that they only care about making changes for killers anyway. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Last time I played that game was my charity stream.
Yeah.
And we were doing like kill your friends anyway. I didn't even play online, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. I think you were doing Apex.
We did
and
Apex,
then you switched
Stick
over.
Fight.
Did like you did like 2 or 3 games of Kill Your Friends where you're just goofing around.
Pretty much, and that was it. I played the nurse. One of my friends played Mikey.
Did you hear about since we were talking about Call of Duty? Did you hear that they're going back to the 2-year cycle?
Yeah, and I think that's good because I really never liked how one every year cut the development time for a game, so you can invest all this time or maybe even money into a game, but it didn't matter.
I mentioned that earlier, where back in the PlayStation 1 and 2 games and like the Sega games and like the old even cartridge games and Game Boy and all that, you had time between games to really flesh out an entirely finished product. Whereas
but the thing is, I think them going back to like the 2-year cycle instead of the 3-year cycle could hinder, because like, okay, Sledgehammer. What was the cycle? Infinity War, Sledgehammer, and then it was Treyarch, right? That was the cycle for Call of Duty?
It was Treyarch and Infinity Ward originally. Just those two.
Yes. Yeah, which means that Treyarch had 1 year of leeway to make a game.
And then it was, so around Modern Warfare
and
3,
then they
brought in Sledgehammer and Raven Software.
Then they included Sledgehammer when they introduced Advanced Warfare, so then it became what? Infinity War, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch?
So, no, it became Sledgehammer with Raven and Treyarch, and then Infinity Ward still making their own games. But Infinity Ward, the team that made Modern Warfare 2, if you guys didn't know this, pretty much left the game after that. That's why Modern Warfare 3 was kind of an asset flip. The people who made that game went on to make Respawn Studios, the guys who made Titanfall and Apex Legends, and is making the new Star Wars game. Which is why, even though EA is putting out that Star Wars game, I have faith that my dudes that made arguably the best Call of Duty ever will give me a good game.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, look, they released, what was the previous one that Infinity Ward made? They made, what, Infinite Warfare?
They did, but that wasn't really the same team. By that time, it was basically a whole new studio.
No. This is the point that I'm trying to make. Black Ops 4 came out this year.
Yeah.
How much stuff was not included when Black Ops 4 came out?
Huh?
I think it has, like, a small community, but, like, they had, what, 2 years? So the entire year that Infinite Warfare was out, and the entire year that World War II was out.
So so they had 3 years between each game, or 2 years between each game.
Yeah,
because there's 3 major studios making the games right now.
And look how bad Black Ops 4 did, gameplay wise. Like, no story mode, all because they wanted to include a battle royale.
Now, as someone who invested a lot of time into Blackout, I enjoyed it. However, I truly believe that they could have done both if they wanted to. They just didn't.
I believe that they should have had. In my opinion, this is what I think should have happened. They should have gotten all of the Call of Duty, all of the people that make Call of Duties, all of the companies, Raven, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch, to work on a battle royale.
There should have been
if
one
they all
definitive
worked
Call
on
of Duty
it-
Battle Royale, and then the individual title releases.
Yeah,
Because
and they could have made the battle royale free, just like what Apex and Fortnite are. They could have made it free with the battle pass.
But attaching
And
it to Call of
still-
Duty Black Ops 4 means that by the time the game's done, like its year cycle is over, it's gonna be irrelevant.
Yeah, it's gonna be irrelevant. I mean, like, oh my god, did you hear that the new Call of Duty might be modern?
No, it's literally
War?
called. Steve, did you know this? The next Call of Duty is called Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my god, no.
Yes.
They
People are
going
speculating
to
it's
piss off
MW4.
the entire community, unless it's an MW4 remastered. They're gonna destroy the entire
It
community.
can't be an MW4 master. There never was an MW4.
Yeah,
I meant Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah, but they
but that already
remastered that
came
game.
out. It's MWR.
Oh, that's
MWR.
right. That's right. That's
with
right.
the Infinite
that's right.
Warfare bundle.
This is how long I've been out of the game. I didn't even know the Black Ops series was still going on.
Yeah.
The thing is, Black Ops series died the instant they made Black Ops 3.
Which is sad because
I agree.
a 3 had so much
I never
potential.
played Black Ops 3. I never played Black Ops 3. I only
Don't
played the first
bother.
2, and that's it.
I played the. Don't bother. Honestly, don't bother. Same. Don't bother.
3
I
had
played,
amazing
3.
potential. I loved some gameplay aspects. I love how it looked, but the story was awful.
It has
Steve,
nothing to
the
do with
story
Black
was
Ops.
so confusing. I had to look at videos upon videos and explaining it. It makes
like-
on the surface, it makes no sense at all.
Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
I mean, I have.
It wasn't
Yeah,
a linear storyline. You kept going between like past, present, and future, but not
Right.
in that order.
But in the end,
Like-
you knew what the hell was going on at the end of it. You
Yeah, but
figured it
not in
all
Call of
out.
Duty Black Ops 3. You had no idea
I
what
didn't.
happened even after the
I
fact.
didn't.
I had no fucking clue.
I finished
You had
Black
to
Ops
Google
3
it.
and I had no clue what was going on. I was like, wait, what? This has nothing to do with Mason or Woods.
So basically, I put it to you this way. I'll explain it in the simplest terms possible. You are a soldier that works with your buddy. You go to a different country. You almost die, and all your limbs thrown off by a robot. You go under the operating table to become a super soldier, but you die. But using technology, you interface with the closest super soldier to you, Taylor, relive his memories, get closure, and then die. Basically, the entire game is you reliving memories. Your character died in the beginning of the game, although it's never shown to you like that. On the surface level,
This is the first time I'm finding that out.
yes, but this is the funny thing. You want to know how that's revealed to you? In the game's opening text scroll that scrolls really, really quickly. You had to slow it down and pause it if you wanted to see it, which you can only do if you recorded it and paused it, frame by frame. That's how bad the story was portrayed to you.
That's how much they wanted to cover it up.
Yes. Yeah. Black Ops 3 had
But you-
all the potential to be good, and it just wasn't.
They're just using the Black Ops name to make money. People are gonna. Did you hear that the next Call of Duty that they're gonna make for 2020 is gonna be Black Ops 5?
So basically,
Oh my God! Just
They
kill
told-
the frickin' series.
That's
they
what they're
can't
saying, but
because
that's their
this is what
cash
happened.
grabbers.
The studios that are making the Modern Warfare title are basically at each other's throats, so they need Treyarch to hurry up and make the next game.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Just Treyarch be like.
No. Sledgehammer was supposed to make the next game,
Yes.
but the thing is that Sledgehammer and Raven, they were at each other's throats.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're at a stall. They're not working in the game because the studios can't agree. So that's why basically
they told
Activision had
Treyarch
to
to
tell
make a new game.
Yeah, they had to tell Treyarch to make the next game because they can't get over themselves, so they don't know what to do.
Honestly, have you heard of Call of Duty Online?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They should make that an American game, an American Call of Duty as well.
So
I
you
think
can
that
get
has
it, just not
potential.
legally, technically.
Yeah, you have to download some like third-party software because it's made by Tencent.
Yeah, and I've tried to get it, but I don't really know a safe way of doing it.
I wouldn't, because from like what I've seen, like I know this one content creator that has it, and from what I've seen, if you try to record it or anything, it like the game crashes so fast.
Okay.
It crashes constantly. But yeah, like Activision is just Call of Duty in general is changing so much, and they're just using the same name titles just to make money.
Here's a cool question. Do you think that some video game designers care about profits over gamer experience?
Yes.
Yes.
That's not even a question.
no.
That's a statement.
Matt,
That's a
Matt.
statement.
Matt.
Yes.
In my honest opinion, I don't think they care about money at all. I think they care mostly about the quality of the game and the consumer.
I think you should throw yourself down a flight of stairs.
And then
If you
then
can't
he
tell
woke
by
up.
my monotone voice that I'm being sarcastic, then
Oh man.
okay.
Yeah,
So
no, it's all
Golden
about the
posed
money.
the
That's all it
question.
comes down to.
Let's see, where is it?
So
He said,
here's a good question, guys. So because the fact that games are continually getting better, and because that video games are continuing to need to impress, more money needs to get put into games to do those things. So the argument is, well, they need to make their money back, so microtransactions and loot boxes are the way to make their money back. I'm like, no,
that's
you're
not the
wrong.
only way to make your money back.
Well, again, look again, Devil May Cry 5, God of War 4 technically, Resident Evil 2,
Yeah.
The Witcher. Good solo games will make their money back that have no DLC. Now, granted, The Witcher did have DLC, but later, in the game more than made its money back before DLC was even announced.
Just a thought. If making your money back is a higher
Priority.
higher priority than
The consumer.
that, right? Obviously, but charge an extra $10 for the game. You might tear the whole fucking gaming industry apart because your game's 70 or 65 or 70 instead of 60. But when you really look at it, you're gonna see that oh hey, we made our money back quicker. But
I mean,
that being said, they have to be able to deliver a full game.
Yes.
look at Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Smash Bros is a good example of this. Smash Bros is a game with so much visual graphics and whatnot. It's a beautiful game, and it makes its money back.
But look at the timeline.
One of the funny thing is the developer who created Smash Bros. Legitimately hates making the game now because it's the same thing every damn time.
Just enhanced slightly or a new character.
Pretty
but
much.
it's making money. People will buy it.
Yep.
Mario Kart, same thing. It's the exact same thing over and over again. People will buy it. The older generation that played the original Mario Kart on Nintendo 64,
Mm-hmm.
they will also buy the newer version on the Switch. And it also appeals to a newer generation because it looks cartoony.
Well, me and Steve can attest. Hell, we played in school. We played the original Smash on the
N64. Yep.
And it was so awesome.
Yeah. Do you remember when what was that kid's name? Jake. Jake's the one who always brought it in, but he only brought in his N64 to take sprites for his own animations. And he'd be like, "Hey guys, I need my N64 back." We'd be like, "Yeah, eat it. We're playing."
I remember that, but I don't know why he couldn't just do it at home.
Yeah, I have no idea, but he probably just wanted to play the game at home instead of friggin' work on his schoolwork at home.
Well, to be fair, we all kind of used the class as a way to work on our own projects. I did all the time.
Oh, same.
But that's because a lot of the things that we had to do were just a joke.
It was a joke, but sometimes, not every time. I think it happened to me maybe twice in the 2 years we were there, where the projects could be applicable to our personal projects.
Yes.
But again, I think that happened twice for me, where one was working with audio equipment, and the other one was filming something. Although Mortal Kombat IRL, dude, that's still one of the greatest videos of all time.
It was literally the idea. The criteria was you need to use what? At least 2 different programs.
It was 2 different programs that you did projects previously. You had to have I want to say a couple different effects you had to use, or certain different almost not softwares but techniques and something like that. Matt, send Matamore an email and ask him what the criteria was.
I can just message him on Facebook. He never got back to me, by the way. He read it, but he left me on red.
Oh, when your teacher leaves you on red.
Hurts, man.
Yeah, we were gonna ask him. Yeah, maybe he listened to one of our shitty podcasts and he was just like, "Yeah, these guys are freaking clowns."
Probably.
I thought they grew up, but they're just talking about boobs.
They're still clowns.
They're why are they talking about boobs? And then here's Matt, double D's, baby.
No, Matamore's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna tune into the podcast. Maybe we'll see what's going on." Click. and I am the Pony Queen, and I will be shaking my tail around, and Meador just closes his laptop, throws it out the window.
It's like, nope. Nope.
He Ron Swanson's it.
Literally.
Look,
Like,
man, the Pony Queen is legendary. As much as I want to hate it, I guess I have to accept it.
Dude, I would love to see an animation of that, of like
my head on
just
like what, like Applejack's body or something like that.
No, like it's just an animation of Matamore opening up a computer, and it's just like the meme that I made of you, and it's just the audio from it where your mouth just moving like really loosely, and that audio plays along with the mouth moving, and then Matamore just closes the laptop, tosses out window, and just walks away. Like that, to me, that'd be the funniest thing.
I guess he just doesn't have any respect for his Pony Queen. I guess that's really all it amounts to, Neo.
I wonder if anything's changed with Matt now that he's been in the Air Force. Oh, but I am the Pony Queen. Nope, nothing.
Nope.
You're still a moron.
I mean, you're still a moron who hangs out with a moron.
I don't hang out with you. I only speak to you on the internet via...
Look, man,
UDP
we
channels.
both know you love being around me.
Yeah, we both know that you love being around me, ho.
Well, you know. Takes one to know one.
So we left out Matt on the conversation. We left out Steve on a conversation. Now we've left me out on a conversation. Full circle.
So, you know,
All right.
we get sidetracked
Perfectly
a
balanced,
lot.
as all things should
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Perfectly balanced. Shut up, Thanos.
Thanos, I will come over
Okay.
there, snap on your ass, and beat it.
Okay, so Golden has a question here that I think is pretty. I think we should answer. It's how does the monthly subscription service affect gameplay?
It depends on the game. Firstly,
I agree.
because
What
games
about-
like WoW
what
do
about-
monthly, don't they?
WoW
Yes,
does,
yes.
yeah.
It's free until like level 10 or something like that. Also, expanding on this, I literally just, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm retarded.
You had a moment.
Yeah.
he's having a senior moment.
Yeah. Ah, you're older than me, asshole.
It still means you're
I'm younger than
retarded.
both of you.
Huh? What are these kids and their Pony Queens?
You sound like an
Something you wouldn't
alcoholic
understand,
grandfather.
Grandpa.
That's like what?
You sound like an alcoholic grandfather who doesn't understand technology, and you get angry at it instead of trying to learn.
Oh my god.
What is this?
You just
It's a
described every
Skype.
old person.
It's a Skype? Yes. Wait, my grandson's in the pictures? No, it's a Skype. A what?
I know where
you
that's
did
from.
this yesterday.
Family Guy?
Yep. Look, don't yell at me. I'm old. I don't understand things. I have a Family Guy reference for everything, and I really don't know how to feel about it.
Jesus Christ, did you just carry a pocket dictionary around? Pocket
Would you carry a
thesaurus?
thesaurus around with you? You know, it's amazing. I can talk it all with an incircumcision still healing.
Literally, though, he has one for everything.
Yes, he does.
Look, it's real bad. But I
Oh my
actually,
god.
besides WoW, if you actually get invested into the game, I don't know any other game that does monthly.
We were just talking about this. FF14.
Oh yeah, that's right, they do. Oh, the game's pretty good though, I've heard.
Yeah, but like, if you're gonna have it's $20.
A month?
No, it's $20 priced. Then
To
it's
buy
a
it?
monthly subscription. Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, I told you this. I was looking at Final Fantasy 14. I told you this. I was like, oh, Final Fantasy 14. It's an online game, and it's $20. And you were like, oh, that's cool. Then I looked into it more, and I'm like, it has a monthly subscription. And you were like, what? And I was like, yeah, Final Fantasy 14 has a monthly subscription.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I mean, I've heard the game is pretty solid. I mean, I actually heard that the game was so bad initially that literally Square Enix just decided to remake it entirely.
I just remembered what I was gonna say.
What?
Along the, just like season passes for video games.
Oh boy.
What do you think about those? Where you pay a one-time fee up front before any DLC is released, for all of the DLC instead of paying as they go.
It's
'Cause
it's a purchase of faith.
I'm
Right.
sorry, Steve. Could you repeat that? A family member.
Well, tell them to leave. No.
No, they just did.
Okay, fantastic. I like that. I was sorry, I'm an asshole. No, I was saying about season passes with video games where, as Matt just said, it's a purchase of faith where either you buy
Oh
4
yeah.
DLC over the course of a year for one price at one time, or you buy them for like $10 more, like as they come out instead. And if they all suck, then you're kind of screwed on your purchase of like 40 or $50, or you have to spend more money on a game that might actually be worth it.
like a Black Ops 4.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
so
yeah.
glad I didn't buy that battle pass. Oh my god.
I've bought one. I think I bought one season pass in my entire life, and it was for the game Evolve, which was a phenomenal game. But
I
there
bet
was
you're so
no-
mad.
There was
I-
dude.
Oh my god.
I was so pissed. Like that game
I
was
saw the
so
trailer
fun.
for Evolve, and I thought it was a cool game. It died
Mhm.
so fast.
Like that game, even now, the game is phenomenal. The gameplay, I really, when me and my friends played it, we thought it had like serious potential for esports if they add more monsters and more characters.
But they didn't.
It had right. They literally just left it to die, and
They didn't try to revive it.
they
Or
didn't
keep it
revive
alive.
it at all. Like it
I
really
think,
pissed me off.
Well, it's the same
I
thing
think,
that Apex is doing right
yeah.
now.
Oh, they're letting it die.
Yeah.
I think for season passes, I never played Modern Warfare Online because I got it for the Xbox 360 and we didn't have internet.
I haven't played it
So
either.
so all I did was play the Spec Ops. But I hear that Modern Warfare 3 had the best types of microtransactions that they had ever seen in Call of Duty, because they just kept bouncing out stuff like on a weekly basis.
I don't remember that game having microtransactions at all.
No, not like microtransactions, like skins and stuff like that, but like maps. Like if you got the season pass, I think they came out with how many maps?
Oh,
They came
you
out
got a
with, like,
lot.
so
There was
many
a
maps.
lot you got.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna have a game with season pass, you should try to model your game like that, like what Modern Warfare 3 did, content wise.
So the problem is this. I think when it comes to the monetization of games, I think it all goes back to what I said earlier, where you have people who don't like games, who don't play games, making games.
Yeah.
I think
Just like nowadays with the old people who run the government, like
yeah.
you were saying.
Well, man, I think it's a good thing to regulate microtransactions because it's predatory.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't like the argument that, they're just trying to make their money back. If the game was worth a shit, they wouldn't have to worry about that.
Big facts.
And I understand that sometimes
God
good
of War
games...
doesn't have microtransactions.
Huh?
God of War doesn't have microtransactions.
It has no DLC, period. The only thing it was ever given was New Game Plus, which was a good thing. I really appreciated that. And some armor you could get. But that was it. It didn't... You couldn't buy power. I mean, so DMC did. And as much as I didn't like it, it was so
DMC 5? Or just DMC in general?
DMC 5 did. And as much as I didn't like it initially, it didn't matter. Like, you could buy orbs to get all the abilities quicker, or you could buy blue orbs to get better health bars. But realistically, you could get all of it in 2 playthroughs.
Yeah.
Easy. Like, that was literally, the game was designed that you bought those if you're feeling purely lazy.
Yeah.
So if you just invest
And now they introduced Bloody Palace.
Yeah.
Another form of getting more points.
And you're watching Bloody Palace gameplay right now. For granted, it's from DMC4, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, like I was saying earlier, DMC4 introduced, Special Edition introduced Virgil, it introduced Lady, it introduced Trish, and then had a bunch of different gameplay styles, all the difficulties, everything else, where the game was so worth it, even though it didn't have a lot of maps, it had so much variety when it came to how you could play. And that's why, honestly, recently, I stopped playing 5 and went back to 4. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love 5, but, I mean, there's more variety.
4 just has more variety.
Yeah. So when
I think...
Go ahead.
I think they're planning DLC for God of War. I'm not. Don't quote me on this, but this I think.
I've heard that they are, but
they ended it with like such a good cliffhanger.
oh yeah, they really did. I honestly would
With
not be
Thor
against it.
coming out,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, that would make such amazing DLC if you go now to Asgard and fight them up there, like what you did in the previous ones where you fight in Olympus, Mount Olympus.
But the thing, then again, if they make it to where there is no DLC at all, and we have to wait for another full-fledged release, I am totally okay with that.
Still, yeah, it would still make bank.
The game
it's God
was
of
Game
War.
of the Year for 2018, I think.
Yeah.
It was good. I don't care what anyone says. Now,
It was a good game.
I don't know if you played it, Steve, if you watched any gameplay of it.
No.
Honestly, dude, like, I know you don't have a PlayStation 4 because it's the only console it's available on, but watch some gameplay of it. It's
All right.
it's impressive because the one thing about it that I am still at this day impressed about it is this. It is all done in one continuous camera take.
Mm-hmm.
There is no cuts. There is no nothing. It's one camera take. That's it.
Awesome.
It's really cool. I appreciated the game. I loved the game. And even though the gameplay initially kind of upset me because I love hack and slash, I got over it. But I'm actually impressed you're able to talk about this as long as we did.
I never got into my other topic about wanting it to be illegal to bitch slap dumb people.
Well, I mean, we still have a while, so I mean, if you want to go do it, go for it.
I mean, all right. I wish it was legal to bitch slap dumb people for the simple reason that more people need to realize that their opinion isn't as relevant as they believe it to be. That's it.
Would you almost say though that I know I brought this up before on one of the podcasts, but it's kind of relevant here that social media has given a lot of people, an undeserved backbone that they don't actually use.
Absolutely.
Like the people who were talking shit to me?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they came into stream. I forgot to mention this. They came into stream and said that I was probably an overweight, 400-pound, middle-aged dude living in his mother's basement. I'm like,
that's really cute.
I'm low weight. I'm applying for the Navy. Like, what do you do with your life? What are you doing with? I'm literally gonna join the military.
So here's what I hear. You're joining the military. They're wasting their time hating on someone's stream.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Don't even give them the time of day. Don't even acknowledge.
That's exactly what I told them. I'm like, who are you to tell me what I'm like?
Exactly.
Well, the problem is this.
You're probably this. It's like you could form that image in your head, have a fap to it, whatever you want to do, but get the hell out of my stream. Get off my plane.
Get off
my plane. Get off my plane.
It's not a plane. Ah! That's also a Family Guy reference. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh.
That was the one I was going for.
No, way too much Family Guy.
Yeah, you guys do.
No, I do.
Well, I have 12 seasons on my computer just ready to go at any given moment.
I got Hulu. That's all I need in life.
I got Hulu too.
At my apartment, I'm not gonna have internet, so.
Oh, that's fair.
So I'm downloading what I can.
Still have internet on your phone, dude. What?
But it's not fast enough to stream. It's less than it's less than a megabyte down and up.
Oh my god.
I can hotspot data is what it is. Like I can barely check email on the damn thing, let alone go on YouTube.
Oh my god, that's sucks.
Yeah, no Netflix and chill for this guy unless you want to look at the 500 plus gigabytes of videos that I have on my computer. No,
don't think about it as no Netflix and chill. Just think about it as no Netflix.
I mean, yeah, I chill by myself with my left hand all night. Cries. No,
Steve goes lefty.
I said, I'm kidding, Mr. Martin.
Oh, I wasn't kidding.
Oh. Matt goes righty.
Nope, I go lefty.
The more you know.
Oh, God.
Oh, wrong theme song.
More like TFT.
Oh, guess what, Matt? You just got
no.
Matt, you just got demonetized for copyright.
Oh, I did.
Oh my god.
Now the whole video's muted.
No, you didn't get demonetized. You got claimed.
Oh man, John Cena claimed me. I can't see this man. How is he claiming my videos? He's a phantom.
He's a phantom.
He is the phantom of the WWE. Isn't it the Phantom of the Opera? No, that's gay.
It's not the Phantom of the Opera, it's the Phantom of the Telethon.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
It's the Phantom of the Telethon. Wait, I can work with this.
Oh,
the
man.
arm is disbombed. Damn it.
The bomb has been disarmed.
The arm is
This is what I'm
disbombed.
gonna-
Damn it.
This is what I'm gonna say once I've disarmed the bomb.
Roger! Right, sorry.
Bomb. What's up, so he screws up. Oh man. Roger is my spirit animal. Even took the nipple clamps. Those were on pretty tight.
You know, I'm on pretty tight. One day I'll have to face the consequences of your actions. No, I won't. You can get out of anything if you're level 1. I'm the most lovable SOB there is. Martin Sugar rests, y'all.
Oh my god. Oh, when he goes to court?
Yeah. He makes pregnant women give birth in the assembly line and then get right back to work. That's why he built the Martin Sugar Daycare Center. It's an overturned refrigerator filled with kitty litter. Alright, look, I can do this all day. Let's move on.
Yeah, we could do
I
this
was
all day.
about to say, I'm like, I feel oddly left out over here.
American Dad.
Oh no,
I
no more
know it's
perfect
American
balance.
But I haven't watched American Dad in a minute. So, where was our topic? Oh yeah, smacking stupid people.
If you could smack stupid people, we'd be smacking Marines all day.
Oh.
I'd be smacking you all day.
I think we'd just be smacking each other all day.
Pretty much, yeah.
It would literally just like an endless
three-way
slap train
smacking.
in a ooh, threesome? What did I hear?
And then like smacking train, like what? SpongeBob's.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
SpongeBob, you gotta get in here. It's a 7-mile spanking train, bro.
That's just, there is so much wrong with that. I don't think any parents actually paid any attention to that.
Mommy, can I make a spanking train?
What?
Where'd you see this?
And then it's just like, wonder what my
Honey,
daughter
that was made
like.
last night with me and your daddy.
And then it's just like, huh, my daughter has a leather fetish.
No. It's like watch this episode about spanking train. 10 years later. Hey, I'm 18.
Becomes Elon
and
Musk.
This is my first
Oh
porno.
my god.
Okay, you can shut up.
Look,
now.
look, Elon Musk is amazing. He deleted Fortnite to
Oh
save
my
kids from
god!
perpetual
Did you see
virginity.
his the saddest video I've seen of Elon Musk?
No.
It was so. He's basically in an interview and he starts crying
Why?
because they start asking him because he wants to make space travel commercial,
Yeah, he does.
and his own heroes said that they were against that. The people who inspired him to become what he is today said that they were against commercial travel. Him making a space travel
Well, who are his
commercial.
heroes?
Armstrong,
Oh, really?
former astronauts. Yep. And I just saw that man crying. He started tearing up. And I was like, damn, for your own heroes to say that they don't approve of what you're doing.
Oh yeah, saddest Elon Musk moment.
Is
Okay.
it really titled that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I searched on YouTube, and the first video that comes up is Elon Musk almost crying, and thanks for proving everyone wrong, Elon Musk. So I'm guessing it's
Yeah.
like before he really got deep into SpaceX, and his people, and like they were all just like, "You'll never do this. There's no way you can do this. There's no need to do this." And he's just like, "I'm gonna prove you guys wrong. You're assholes."
Watch me.
Yeah. But anyways.
So, this is not really a topic I want to get into, but I'm gonna stump it real quick. What about wanting a high wage job but don't have the experience? Get the experience, stop bitching, grow up. Life isn't fair. Life sucks. Shut the fuck up. Moving on.
Wait, what? Having a what job?
Getting a high wage job without the experience, that all that requires is literally putting the time and effort.
Which
That's
no
all
one
it is.
wants to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody
Oh, yeah,
wants
just put it
everyone
down.
wants to make $1 million. Nobody wants to work for it. and nobody can have that without working for it. Like
Either that or being born
see
into a
people
rich family, which isn't fair, but life isn't fair, like I just said.
right, but like
Yeah.
I mean, even being born into a rich family, that's not gonna get you a good job. That might get you certain aspects of a job and
Connection.
maybe potential job security, but that's not gonna get you like a truly gratifying position in a company by
Nope.
any means.
Yeah. You won't get anywhere if the hand is constantly being extended by your family.
Right, exactly. Like it's like the idea of the people that were using their money to get their kids into college.
Oh,
when
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
really personally destroying their kids' own confidence in their own future for the sake of I want to say that my kid goes to Yale or Harvard, and not the
And
fact
you're
that
also
hey, my
destroying
kid's
the
a
reputation
moron,
of.
but he's gonna work his ass off and actually make something of himself. Like I would rather be a multi-bajillionaire and have my kid work from the ground up at a basic frigging company and like never really support the kid, but he makes something of himself rather than, hey, I'm gonna give this college like $5 million and they're gonna let my kid in without taking any entrance exams because I know they can't pass them. Like, if you can afford, like, if you have such a luxurious lifestyle that you can give a college like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to get your kid into their college, you think you could afford better tutoring. Like,
You'd think, but then again, some kids, when they're growing up in a family like that, think that since my family's rich, why should I care or why should I try?
again, I mean, it's a lifestyle option that I like, not even an option.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle that I don't understand because I don't have that. Like, to me, it's just ridiculous the idea that nobody like that. Oh,
Like the
I'm just,
typical
I just
white valley
want
girl?
this. Right? Like, I just want this, and I'm gonna get it because I said so,
I want
not
it.
because I worked for it. Like, to me, that blows my mind that there are people out there like kids in like rich kids of Instagram or like rich kids of Dubai where like, oh, they're like 14 years old and their dad buys them a Lamborghini even though they can't even frickin' drive it yet.
I don't
Like that one
understand
little girl, little Tay.
Yeah, not even. Screw little Tay. That little shit. Like, oh my god. Let me babysit little Tay just once. Just once. I will take all that girl's money, lock her in the closet, leave with all the money in the
The
trunk
thing
of my
is,
car,
It
and they'll
turns out
come
all that
back
stuff
and.
was staged.
It was,
Oh, I
yeah.
know. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But like.
It was just to make money.
Oh,
ironically.
obviously. No, I remember I saw
The
a
thing
meme
that I
where it's
find
like-
stupid is the fact that she was with not in a relationship. She just came out with like one of the stupid blonde brothers.
Logan
I
Brothers?
don't know which one.
The Pauls?
Yeah, one of those two dumbasses.
probably Jake because Logan's older.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Oh,
Then he
God.
wasn't little till like 8 or 9 years old.
Logan's older.
No.
You would expect them to know how to behave in Suicide Force.
Yeah,
You think
we've talked about that before, and that one just pisses me off.
Yep.
Well, Lindsay brought up a good point. More people
Lil
get
Tay
jobs,
and Logan Paul, apparently.
but they're nowhere
Or,
near an age.
Jake Paul. But again, they're nowhere near an age.
That's almost illegal. Like, wasn't she like 10
Hey,
years old or like younger?
Hang on. Let me just look up Lil Tay age. 11 years old.
What the?
Freaking hell!
And they're
Oh,
dating?
God. No, they weren't dating. They were collaborating. That's what the
That's
internet
still
said.
weird.
Well, yeah, but like for the views, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Really? The
Jake
police
Paul.
don't find a 20-something year old
Yeah.
hanging out with a 10-year-old
Well, I mean, like-
weird?
Well, I mean, but like, look at what's her freaking face? Catch Me Outside girl. Danielle
Oh my
Bregoli.
She's like only
Danielle
16 or
Bregoli.
17 now. She's still not even.
She was like 14 when, or no, she was like 12 or 13 when her whole scandal thing
Yeah.
happened. But then she was found for underage prostitution,
Really?
advertising that she's like, hey, I'm the Catch Me Outside
Dun,
girl.
dun,
Pay
dun,
me and I'll have sex with you.
Yeah.
That
Dun,
was-
dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
remember seeing that on the news, and she got into a lot of legal trouble for that. And
Oh, that's just messed up, man.
all right, Matt.
Moving on.
All right,
What?
Matt, and you too, Blue. Go and just hashtag stop making stupid people famous on Twitter right now.
Well, I mean, to be fair, people will always be famous because they entertain.
Stop making stupid people famous.
It's just how
Like,
it is.
Look at Lil Tay. Look at 6ix9ine. Look at the Paul brothers.
Oh my
Like,
god. Why are they
Stupid
famous?
people making them famous. Like the entertainment industry, if they're featured in a show or something, we don't have as much control. But like when somebody does like Danielle Bregoli, she literally lashed out at her mother and like publicly like disrespected her on television, and now she's making music videos and she's famous for it. Like we can put a stop to that if we just don't.
I don't know
give
who that is,
people
honestly.
attention. Cash Me Outside girl.
Oh, her? Really?
Yeah,
Danielle
that's her
Bregoli.
name.
Music videos?
Yep. She's making music now and stuff, and like she made probably $5 million off that Dr. Phil episode, and now she's making tens of millions just because people are stupid and can't like leave her alone.
Not even that, but like she also has a YouTube channel and everything else too. And...
Yeah.
I blame the education system.
I don't blame the education system. I blame all the dumb people that give them the attention. Like,
you know what I wish?
Got nothing to do with it.
I wish there was a common sense class.
Not allowed.
And at every grade level,
because someone's
a
gonna get triggered.
class.
Some parents are gonna get triggered. My kid doesn't need to understand how taxes work at age 15.
I would have loved
I
classes
actually,
like that.
I had a class where the teacher literally is like, okay, today we're gonna fill out a tax form.
Yeah, I had a class like that too, but do you know why I had to take this class?
Why?
All right. Nice. I like that. I was in sync. So I've never been good at math. I'm not good at math, period. Just that's
same here.
Dead in the water. Freshman year, took math, barely passed it. Sophomore year, took math, barely passed it. That was algebra 1 and geometry.
Same here.
I took algebra 2 and trigonometry for 2 weeks. I wasn't going to pass it from the get-go because I didn't have a very good concept and grasp from algebra 1.
I mean, that's why I said I will not take trig. Put me in algebra 3. I said I will do anything. Don't put me in it.
Right. No.
Yes, because we're clearly going to use trigonometry in the real world.
Instead of, they asked me what I wanted to do. I could go back to an algebra 1 like reduced learning class or something like that, or I could take what's called life math. I took life math because it was about applying for mortgages, learning about tax rates, like figuring out how interest rates work and stuff like that. And I literally went to the teacher. I'm like, every single person in this school should take this class. And they're like, and I got roasted for being in life math. It was called dropout math because like all the kids that were supposedly going to drop out, well, put them in this.
Look at you now.
At least they know how to do taxes when they drop out of high school.
I'd say that's the best class to learn.
Honestly, and
the class
it was a stigma about the class, and I want to hit on this real quick while I have the floor for now. So I got roasted for being in this life math class, but do you know what else had a very negative stigma in my school?
What's that?
Harkness, BOCES.
Really?
Because I'll explain this. So, it's like off-campus schooling where like automotive, carpentry, trade school stuff. That stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
That's how
that's the stuff everyone wanted to do in my high school.
That's where me and Matt actually met. We met at
high school's ghetto as shit.
Yeah, but basically, my high school had what were called academies. Bless you.
Thank you.
My high school had what were called academies, where they had the Academy of Finance, which is all like accounting, business, like learning how to work on ledgers and credits and debits, and like your typical business administration major, so to speak. Hospitality and tourism, learning how like marketing, how to talk to people, travel and stuff like that. They had Academy for nursing for anyone who wants to go in the medical field. They had PLTW.
So basically, all the jobs that gave you like 6 figers.
Well, not
necessarily.
I'm gonna hit on that.
Babysitting was one of them. Childcare was one of them.
I'm gonna hold on to that for a second. So my school had these academies for all the big fields, like the big, like everything from STEM to finances and nursing and medical. So they had everything covered within the high school. And they had tons of we had digital photography classes, we had wood shop classes, and anybody that their schedule didn't fit or they didn't work well in the classroom environment and they needed to be more hands-on, they were recommended to go to BOCES. And my counselor actually recommended, like, they're like, I don't think you need to go to BOCES. I don't think it's really necessary for you. I think you can thrive in a classroom environment. And I was like, I want to go to BOCES. I like, and he was like, all right, well, I'll set you up for a shadow day. I went there for one day, and I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. Like, I love the environment, the teacher, everything was literally perfect. And
it's because it was more hands-on.
Exactly, it was hands-on.
Rather than it being one teacher in a classroom of 40 students.
I had freedom to do what I wanted to do. And so the very next year, when I could, like my junior year, I went to BOCES, and that's where I met Matt and all that. But I went back my senior year, and I was like, to think that you told me that I shouldn't go to BOCES, I want your job for that, because like, you guys need to destigmatize going to BOCES, trade school, like carpentry, electrician, aviation.
Well, I've seen posts now that
digital media, cosmetology.
I've seen
like,
posts now that they're trying to stop pushing bachelor's degrees, and people are like, we need more technicians. We need to stop pushing worthless degrees.
Like, stop having underwater basket weaving be a 4-year degree and get more plumbers, electrician. Like, and the thing is, trade schools, most of them are unionized. Yep. If you're unionized, if you finish your apprenticeship and you become like the it's not a foreman, it's it's a step above a journeyman, but it's along the way where, like, you do construction stuff, you can make, at age 25, if you have good work ethic, you know what you're doing, and you don't get in trouble or lose your job, you can literally make upwards of $160,000 a year at age 25. My friend Mason, he went to college. He got his associate's in electrical engineering. He's younger than I am. He's not even 21 yet, and he's set to make 6 figures this year. Like, and it's a very well needed major. Like, it's a very well needed, like, field.
Well, that's the thing about a lot of those trade jobs. There will always be a need for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you ever gonna stop pooping unless you're on your deathbed?
Oh,
no.
There's gonna be someone for that too.
That means you're always gonna need a plumber. You're always gonna need somebody to wire up your house. You're always gonna need somebody to build you new things. You're always gonna need somebody to come and fix your car, like for automotive. You're always gonna need somebody to fly a plane for aviation. People need to stop They need to destigmatize all of the trade schools, and instead of making it like the dropout place to go, or the retards go there with, I know that word's not really good, but
still though, people use it. I mean, I would say the same thing about.
I mean, me and Matt use it.
I mean, I would say the same thing about joining the military. It used to be like you joined the military if you were a dropout. I have met some of the smartest people in service.
Oh yeah, like
oh my god, I don't know if this scandal reached your guys as part of the over there in New York, but over here in Cali, there's a city called Pico Rivera, and some kid was in his English class, I believe, and he walked in with a Marine jacket, an actual Marine cami.
Yep.
Because I think his brother was in the Marines, and he said that he wants to be a Marine when he grows up. And the teacher, literally started discouraging him. He's like, "Oh, the Marines are the dumbest of the dumb. They're for dropouts, people who aren't going to go anywhere."
Jokes
Marines
aside,
have the nickname jarheads.
Jokes aside, I mean this wholeheartedly. Jokes aside, we all know where the jokes come from. There are some Marines that I'm not joking are some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but this dude was being wholehearted.
Oh, I know.
He literally started talking trash about the Marines. Like he knew what Marines are. But he doesn't know. He never served. He's literally one of the chairmen of the city.
Mm-hmm. My thought is, unless you've served, and
you have no right to talk.
Right. Period. And that's period.
How it is.
Like,
that's why I love
serve, or you have a family that has served. You have no right.
Not even that. No, unless you yourself have served, you shut up because you have. I mean, that's why I love how my family, like people in my family, will call me fucking chair force, and I'm like. Do you serve?
You don't know what that means. You don't understand what that means.
Like, yeah, it's like no. I'm sorry, but no.
I saw a video of a retired Marine. I think he was. he was wearing camis, regular camis. They were like outdated, outissued.
Mm-hmm.
He was wearing them. He was going to like 7-Eleven. He lives in Florida, I think. He was like going for gas to prepare for the storm, and some kid asks him, "Oh, are you in service?" He's like, "Those camis aren't regulation." He's like, he ignores them. Then he comes out into the parking lot with his camera. He's like, "Stolen valor. Show me your MOS. What did you do in the military?" And it turns out that this kid knew nothing about the military,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
claiming stolen valor when he himself has not once served.
Yeah. The
Oh, I
only
hate
people that should really be able to claim stolen valor are
Veterans.
people that are veterans or currently serving.
Well, the problem is, unfortunately, a lot of people who are the biggest cases of stolen valor are actually vets who claim to do things they never actually did,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually some of the worst parts of stolen valor. But even still, I get
A
the point.
vet claiming they got the Purple Heart when they were dishonorable.
Right? People, it's basically
Yeah,
people who
yeah.
claim to do things they never actually did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately the worst part of stolen valor, and the most common too, is vets
Yeah.
who claim that they went overseas, did this, did that, and never actually did any of it, and they have no records to prove it.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. Got that one out of the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Holy crap. Yeah, but I mean I kind of got that off my chest. That whole slapping stupid people thing.
So I mean, the entire
think
point of this podcast was me and Steve. We went into this like, let's just talk about things that upset us. I'm sure you guys can tell we were just.
Yeah.
This is,
You cut off, man.
it's been a gripe fest. This entire
Yeah.
podcast has been a gripe fest.
That's all it is. Like, you guys went nuts on the gaming industry. I kind of went nuts on trade schools and people being stupid and stuff. So, I think we all walked away with this pretty well.
I would say
pretty
so.
well organized. Yeah. I mean, it's 12:30 here, and I have to wake up tomorrow to start a long day of day drinking for Memorial Day and all that.
Oh
so-
yeah, it's a long weekend. I
Yeah.
completely
Yeah,
forgot
I
about
got-
that.
Yeah, going to the lake tomorrow. So
I'm
well,
off till
technically
Tuesday,
today.
so I mean, I'm good to stay if you want.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you
Say,
want-
I have nowhere to go tomorrow.
All right, well then I'm gonna leave you guys at the floor, and maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't. Not really sure, but I'm signing off for the night. So y'all have a
Gotcha.
good night.
See you.
Have a good night, Steve.
So I was wondering if there's anything else you want to talk about, because we could talk about the gaming thing for a while. I know.
Oh, we could go on and on about that if you want.
So I mean, go if there's anything you want to say, go for it. I'll let you have the floor on this one.
Well, not really everything that I want to talk about. Mostly gaming related. Because, like, I mean, once like, this is what I'm thinking we could do, like, you and me, like, if me, and Steve are on and Steve leaves like this, you and me, like, once I get through boot camp and their form of tech school, you and me could do military talks, like, towards the end.
Yeah, we could.
Like, the differences between the Navy and the Air Force and stuff like that, and the different processes and whatnot.
So I got a friend of mine that's going through Air Force Tech School right now, and this is a little tidbit for everyone that's here. And Air Force basic training, of course, has changed again. So my videos are pretty much.
Oh
out
my
of date.
god, it has? Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
god.
like it's 8 weeks now, or 8.5 weeks now, and they're changing stuff.
Including Airman's Week?
I think so, yeah.
Then it's been like that for a while.
No, not with including it. Sorry.
Oh, not including Airman's Week?
I
Oh, they
think
added
so, yeah.
a new week then.
So I was what she was gonna
So
do
it's on
is
par with Navy now then.
so what they're gonna do is I was asking her to basically like annotate everything that she was experiencing, and she could tell me about it. And I was gonna actually redo like all of my BMT breakdown videos. Actually, when she got out, I could talk about it.
We
and,
update them.
Yeah, re-update it because they're basically out of date at this point. So
Yeah.
so
And then there's the occasional imbecile that's like, oh, this is misinformation. You're misinforming people. It's like, no, it's outdated information. There's a difference.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is I've also had like I have had instructors or not instructors like recruiters and MTIs email me. You know, like I think you should delete your channel. I'll message your chain of command. I'm like, well, one, my chain of command knows I do it and they don't care. Two, I really don't care about who you are, and they're like, well, you like because then I'll email them back and I'll show them like the respect they're showing me, which is none. And like you can't talk
Unless
to them,
you're
like,
the
yeah.
commander-in-chief, don't tell me what to do.
So like they have I've had like tech sergeants, master sergeants email me And, they'll badmouth me, insult me, and then I'll message them back in the same way they're talking to me. They're like, you can't talk to me that way. I'm like, no, I can, and I'm not going to face any repercussions for it. I genuinely.
You're in the military. Do you not know what the First Amendment is?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not changing my tone of voice with you. I don't know who you are. You're choosing to pick a fight with me. I don't care about you. So, yeah, I couldn't really care less.
Quick thoughts as a military YouTuber that you are. Thoughts on, what was his name? Crap, I forgot. You had an interview, interviewed by him.
Oh, God.
Yeah, thoughts on him retiring?
I mean, I know why generally he did it. I know he just wasn't enjoying himself anymore. He actually put up a video today. It was funny. Like another Air Force YouTuber or another military YouTuber exposed him, but wasn't exposing at all. It wasn't like that.
Oh.
But yeah.
Oh, was it?
It was just a funny title for it. But even still,
yeah.
I
saw the video. He said that he wanted to get out because he would put in the extra effort, but he would still be paid the same as everyone else.
Well, that's how it is.
The people that he worked with were lazy, and they would do half the work, and they would still get paid the same.
Oh yeah, that's how the military is.
And that he didn't like the fact that people would take shortcuts to finish the work faster.
Oh yeah.
Instead of doing it correctly the first time.
So, but that's how the military is. So, for example, right?
There's people who will take shortcuts and people who will do the work the right way.
Well, this is the problem, right? So, in the military, one of the things that you got to keep in mind is the fact that everyone gets paid the same. The myth that the Air Force gets paid more than the Marines is not true. I don't know why people keep thinking that. It's not true.
Everyone gets paid the same.
Everyone gets paid the exact same based on rank and everything else. It's not true.
It's just the information that's given on the websites that may be different.
Yeah, but
because
nowhere people in the Air Force get paid more.
Yeah, in the Air Force, I think it shows your monthly payment. In the Army, I think it shows the yearly payment.
Well, the funny thing is, in the Army, you could almost argue you get paid more because you get more bonuses up front than in any other branch.
But those bonuses don't mean anything most of the time.
Well, I mean, the $20,000, $30,000. That's a Dodge Charger right there, my guy.
Yeah.
We've been talking so long, the gameplay has reset itself on the video. Like, we're back to the beginning.
Oh, we are? Oh,
yeah.
my God.
I didn't think we'd be going this long. But even still,
oh my God, I just saw Capcom Presents.
Yeah. So, but even still, like, I don't know where that comes from. And one thing in the Air Force that people get upset about, even I get upset about, right, is that I'm an E4. I'm not going to say what I do, but I work my ass off. And then I have people in the admin career field who work, like, 8 to 2 with a 2-hour lunch break and PT every day and work, like, and have, like, one Wednesday a week off. Like, they don't work really at all. They don't really do anything.
And they get paid the same.
Yeah. And they get paid the same. And they do so little. And it's upsetting, but this is the thing. You walk into this knowing that. The military, it's so undiscriminatory that it's painful.
You're just another number.
Pretty much.
That's how my mom puts it. You're just another number.
To an extent, yeah. But the problem is just that everyone is replaceable, but no one really should be replaced. This is the problem. The manning issues in the military are so prevalent that while everyone could theoretically be replaced, you don't want to replace anybody because that's people you got to expend to do that. So people you
have to spend time on training again and not.
Right, and exactly. So it's not as people always saying, well, in the Army, maybe you're a bit more expendable, but in the Air Force, like, we have manning issues across the board. It's pretty bad.
I mean, you still, until recently, still kept getting messages to see if you wanted to join.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Even though you're an E4.
Yeah, I will be putting on Staff Sergeant in a little over a month, and I still have people asking me if I want to go to the Army or still join the Air Force. I'm like, my guy, you are so late, it hurts me.
Yeah. Do you guys get hazardous pay?
No.
Oh, that's just
hazard duty pay is something exclusive that you get deployed to either a combat zone or if you're stationed stateside, but whatever you're doing can be very hazardous to your health.
Yeah.
There's also things like...
I'm not asking you in general. I'm asking if Air Force in general.
Yeah, when you get deployed, you can definitely get that.
MAs get that for Navy, men at arms, security, naval security. they get like $50 extra.
There's also like flip pay, which you get for basically just managing a language that you're proficient in.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
But the thing is, you have to be proficient in all aspects of that language: reading, writing, and speaking.
Yeah, but that's why you get
You
paid.
can't just be like, "Oh, I speak it fluently." No, no, no.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, think about it. It's like an extra $200 to $300 a month, which all things considered, it's a lot of extra money a month.
Yep.
So I mean, I wouldn't argue with it personally.
Yeah. Back to video games.
I mean, we could talk about anything. People are still
Yeah.
here. They're still talking, which we appreciate all you guys still here talking, chilling with us. I'm glad. I should have recorded more footage. I didn't think it would go this long, honestly.
Yeah.
Because me and Steve had no idea what to talk about on this podcast. We ran out of ideas. So yeah, we kind of went this one thinking it might be an hour, hour and a half long at most.
It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been over 2 hours at this point. But yeah, unless if you guys want to suggest topics for us, that's fine. If not, we'll probably sign off in a bit because I want to eat some food and I'm probably going to stay up a little bit longer than tackle my homework because I have homework now. So.
Oh yeah, because you're in ASL, right?
ALS, yeah.
ALS, that. What does that stand for?
Airman Leadership School.
What's that for?
It's a 24 academic day course you need to complete in order to be an NCO.
Oh. And an NCO is?
A non-commissioned officer.
Okay.
Which is what E5s and up are.
For
the
Air Force. Navy terms, petty officers, right?
Well, you're still an NCO technically. It's kind of the same way. Because NCO is a broad category for every branch. That's why E7s and up are senior NCOs. Yeah.
For the Air Force, yeah.
No, for everybody.
Oh, for everybody. Oh.
Yeah. As confusing as some things are per branch, some things transfer over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like Air Force moves out from the barracks at E4, right?
Depends on your location. So that's not.
Yeah.
That is not entirely true. It depends on where you get stationed at. It depends on how big the dorms are. Depends on if you're married or not. So the biggest thing for that is in the Army, if you're married, you can move out right away. But if you're not, you won't move out till you're like an E5 or an E6. In the Air Force, you'll move out if you're not married by the time you probably hit E4 or maybe E5, depending on your area.
In the Navy, it's E6, I believe.
Unless
E4,
you're married.
No, not E4. E5 or E6, unless you're married, of course.
Getting married is the easiest way to get out of the dorms, but I tell people all the time, getting married's
Don't recommend it. Don't recommend it.
Nope.
Don't do it. Make sure you actually know the person fully. Make sure you actually are interested in them.
Yeah, I have made it very clear to people that it's not a good idea to just get married and move out of the dorms because then you find.
Oh, that was your last video.
Yeah, it was, and that's why I was so against it because people are stupid. He's like, I really get upset that people treat marriage so
lightly.
Yeah, which to me it's never been that way. So
marriage is a commitment.
Yes. What is that noise?
Oh, that is. I am in the garage. That noise you might be hearing is my washer. Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't have anything for us, I think we're going to cut it there. I have nothing else, Blue, unless you have anything.
No.
Okay. So if that's it.
Unless you want to talk about Dead by Daylight.
No. Not too much.
I mean, the only thing they're introducing is Ghostface and the 3-year anniversary that's coming up.
Well, I knew they were introducing Ghostface. It was rumored for a while, but.
And then the Freddy rework.
Yeah, which has been needed for a while too.
Yeah, I think that Bricky just gave a tiny detail of the new power that it's like a tiered system, like a Mikey's power.
Well, yeah, that's what we figured. It makes the most sense to me. But I mean, again, I don't really have any interest in the game, period. So.
Yeah.
I'll probably play it when Ghostface comes out, just because I'm kind of curious to see how he'll play.
People are saying he's like a combination of the pig and Mikey Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes the most sense to me.
Because he can crouch and he can stalk, and but he can also lean, which is what I think is like a huge mechanic. Because he can lean and stalk, and he's actually faster, I think, when he crouches.
Well, so is the pig.
No, not the pig is actually slower when she crouches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the pig has a slower base movement speed to compensate for that burst of movement speed she gets with the lunge
Well, and not having a terror radius.
and not having a terror radius. Yeah, but I think I don't since he doesn't. I think he moves at base movement speed when he's crouched, and he has a trapper's base movement speed of 115.
All right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, either
And
way,
they're saying like, yeah,
when it comes out, I'll play it, but I'm not really I'm not holding my breath. I'm not looking forward to it too much.
we'll test out and just kill your friends,
Pretty much, yeah.
or on the PTV, kill your friends. No other topics?
No, I got nothing.
No. Me neither.
All right, so if that's it, then I'm going to head out, guys. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will see you possibly next week. I will have to kind of on the dime let you guys know if I'm capable of doing these things because I'll be really busy the next few weeks. So I will let you guys know ahead of time if I can do an episode or not. So I'm sorry in advance if I can't, but I have other bigger priorities to attend to. So yeah. All right. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Bye.